Chapter 469. Lin Yan chatted with them angrily for a while before she put down her phone and fell into deep thought. Was she really that bad at dating? That couldn't be. Lin Yan turned on her laptop and typed. What should I do in a relationship? How can I make my boyfriend happy? How can I make him agree to my request? There were all sorts of answers online, and Lin Yan's head was spinning. She wanted to eat ice cream together, drink with 2 straws, put her hand in his pocket in winter, use a couple's profile picture, wear couple's clothes, take a walk together after dinner, ride the merry-go-round at the amusement park, shave his beard, take him out for spicy soup, and attend a concert together. Damn it, it was just a relationship. Why did she have to do so many things? What was the point of doing these boring things together? They might as well go for a race. This guy didn't make sense at all. Lin Yan sighed as she read on. Life was really unpredictable. A few months ago, she had been searching for ways to break up with her boyfriend. Now, she was searching for ways to fall in love with her boyfriend. Lin Yan's stomach growled as she read on. It had been a long time since dinner, and her body was drained. She was famished, but she wouldn't dare eat the food that Pei Yuqing had left for her. Fortunately, she had a lot of snacks. Lin Yan took out some chocolates, candies, crispy noodles, and spicy snacks from the drawer. As she ate, she took out a notebook to jot down her findings. His earnestness was comparable to when she had been cramming for her acting lessons back then. It was almost midnight when Lin Yan put down her pen and got ready to go to bed. Lin Yan took a shower and changed into a set of clean pajamas. Then, she sat down at her desk to sort out her homework for the day before going to bed. She was sorting out her notebook when she suddenly felt a little dizzy. It was as though a strange force had penetrated the wall and was attacking her. What was going on? Was she too tired? Was she so tired that she felt dizzy? No, that's not right. This feeling is a little overwhelming, and it's extremely familiar. Oh no. It was that pervert. Lin Yan clutched her head and hurriedly reached for the peachwood sword. However, before she could move, her vision turned black, and she lost consciousness. When Lin Yan opened her eyes again, they were clear and bright. She didn't look tired at all. That pair of cold eyes seemed to be devoid of any human emotions. A few minutes ago, Pei Yuqing had been leaning against the headboard, ready to fall asleep. Of course, sleep did not go so smoothly. No matter how calm he appeared, he couldn't lie to himself. Just like now, his consciousness had finally broken through his shackles and entered Lin Yan's body once again. Pei Yuqing was used to this, so he remained calm this time. However, in the very next moment, his gaze turned completely chaotic. Chapter 470. No matter how composed Pei Yuqing was, he hadn't expected to encounter such a scene when his consciousness had transmigrated. Pei Yuqing cursed under his breath as he grabbed a coat from the rack and put it on. He covered Lin Yan's body tightly. Only after doing all this did his breathing return to normal. However, the girl's face was rosy and her hair was slightly damp. She had just showered, so he could see her in the mirror. Pei Yuqing flipped the mirror upside down. If this were to continue, he would probably do something shameful to himself. Out of habit, Pei Yuqing instinctively wanted to smoke. However, he remembered that he was in Lin Yan's body, so he gave up. He glanced at the colorful bags of snacks on the table and instinctively reached out to pick up a piece of chocolate. Pei Yuqing recalled the girl saying that she wasn't hungry after eating. Hadn't she said that she wasn't hungry? However, girls seem to like snacks. Was it really that delicious? He had been born without a sense of taste, so he had never understood the passion humans had for food. Pei Yuqing opened the bag of chocolate casually and tore off a small piece before putting it into his mouth. When the sweet chocolate melted in his mouth, Pei Yuqing froze in a daze. It had just been a casual action, but he had never imagined that he would have a taste for the first time. Because he didn't have a sense of taste, everything tasted like wax to him. However, he was experiencing something that he had never experienced before through Lin Yan's body. He had almost forgotten that he was using Lin Yan's body. This was an unexpected gain, so this was the taste of sweetness? Indeed, it tasted the same as hers. He tried all the snacks that Lin Yan had placed on the table with the intention of researching them. Pei Yucheng's eyes scanned the room and landed on Lin Yan's laptop and computer screen. Pei Yucheng glanced at Lin Yan's search history. What should one do when they were in a relationship? How should one make their boyfriend happy? How should one make her boyfriend agree to her request? Pei Yucheng raised an eyebrow, as though he was surprised. He had thought that she would search for how to break up with her boyfriend. He hadn't expected that she would study these questions. Pei Yucheng naturally knew that there had to be a reason for Lin Yan's abnormal behavior. However, this wasn't important to him. He liked the result. Then, he noticed that Lin Yan had opened her notebook. She had listed 100 things that she should do with her boyfriend when she was in a relationship. Sharing an ice cream, drinking a drink with 2 straws, Winter putting her hand in his pocket, using a couple's head. If Lin Yan had been sober, she would have been stunned by her own beauty. How could she smile with such elegance, such beauty, and such an A? Lin Yan's notebook was filled with scribbles. She had even written comments in the margins. This is too boring. Who would be so bored as to run over to do such senseless things? What the hell is using 2 straws to drink the same beverage? Could it be some kind of magical ritual? Are people in love all so weird? What was the point? Simply speechless. I don't understand at all. Pei Yucheng couldn't help but chuckle as he tapped his fingers on the list of topics in love. It's okay if you don't understand. I'll teach you next time. Chapter 471. It's okay if you don't understand. I'll teach you next time, Pei Yucheng muttered softly. He picked up the girl's phone and used her fingerprint to unlock it. Then, he used Lin Yan's phone to send himself a message. Mr. Pei, are you free this weekend? I really want to go on a date with you. The next morning, when Lin Yan woke up, she realized that she was lying on the bed. She had just woken up, so she was still in a daze. When she recalled what had happened last night, she sat up abruptly. Oh no. Her illness had acted up again last night. She couldn't have done something weird again, right? Lin Yan scrambled to her feet in a panic. She scanned the room anxiously to see if she could find any clues. Everything in the room was the same as it had been, except, where were all the snacks on the table? All that was left was a pile of plastic bags. Lin Yan stared at the snacks on the table in shock. She hadn't eaten much last night. How had she finished them all? Damn it, did she eat all of this into her stomach? F***ck. She was going to die of obesity. What was going on? Had she become a glutton instead of causing trouble this time? Lin Yan checked again and realized that all the snacks had been eaten. Pei Yucheng and Pei Nanxiu wouldn't enter her room casually, let alone sneak in to eat her snacks. Hence, there was only one possibility. She must have eaten the snacks. Lin Yan broke down at the thought of having to work hard to get rid of these calories. Oh yeah, Pei Yucheng, more importantly, had she done anything to Pei Yucheng? Lin Yan snuck out of the room to check on the situation. She had just walked out of the room when she heard a squeak. The door to the room next door had been pushed open. Pei Yucheng had walked out of the room. Hi, Mr. Pei. Good morning. Lin Yan, who had been peeking her head out of the room, hastily straightened her body and greeted him calmly. Good morning, Miss Lin. Pei Yucheng smiled. Lin Yan scrutinized Pei Yucheng's expression and didn't think anything was amiss. Nothing had happened, right? Lin Yan deliberated for a moment before she asked cautiously, Mr. Pei. Did anything special happen last night? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl calmly. What do you mean, Miss Lin? Lin Yan scratched her head. Don't worry. It's nothing. I'm just asking, casually asking. Did I do anything strange last night? No, replied Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when he added, except for what? Lin Yan's expression tightened. Pei Yucheng asked, Miss Lin, have you forgotten? Lin Yan was startled. Remember what? He replied, Miss Lin sent me a text in the middle of the night. Huh? Lin Yan's head throbbed as she whipped out her phone. F***CK. She knew it. She knew she was going to cause trouble. What did she send him in the middle of the night? Lin Yan clicked on the message page frantically. Indeed, she had sent Pei Yucheng a message last night. The text was, Mr. Pei, are you free this weekend? I want to go on a date with you. Lin Yan was speechless. Chapter 472. Lin Yan couldn't bear to look at the message. Looking at the cute wavy emoji at the end of the message, she was speechless. Was she really the one who had sent this mushy message? She. No. No. Believe. Pei Yucheng replied gently, I will spare some time for you on the weekend. Lin Yan's heart was filled with tears, but she pretended to be elated. Haha. Great. That's great. Damn it. This was insane. Could it be that these were her true thoughts in the depths of her heart? That was impossible. With a heavy heart, Lin Yan arrived at the He family mansion at the appointed time. Mo Shuyun and Yun Xian were there too. The old master, He Dingkuan, stood outside the door to welcome them. You're early today. Lin Yan had just gotten out of the car when she saw Mo Shuyun and He Dingkuan chatting. Idol, it's a blessing to join the He family team. I get to see you every day. Mo Shuyun's eyes trailed to Lin Yan as he grinned. Sister, Yun Xian glanced at Lin Yan. Xiaoyan, everyone is here. Let's talk inside, said the old master. Lin Yan and the others didn't say anything else as they entered the He family's mansion. Today, they didn't see any of the other team members. Only He Xiong, He Lefeng, and He Xiong were there. He Xiong and his sons' faces darkened when they saw Mo Shuyun. They hadn't expected that Lin Yan would find an expert to join the He family team in such a short period of time. That night's test was enough to prove the situation. No matter how displeased He Xiong and He Mingkai were, they couldn't say anything else about it. Hello, Captain Mo. He Lefeng got up immediately and greeted Mo Shuyun. This is my cousin, He Lefeng. Lin Yan introduced him to Mo Shuyun. Mo Shuyun nodded and glanced at He Lefeng. Brother Lefeng, your cousin, Miss Lin Yan, often talks about you. She says that your racing skills are terrible. Everyone, including Lin Yan, was taken aback when they heard Mo Shuyun. Wasn't Mo Shuyun being a little too direct? Although He Lefeng's racing skills were terrible, his attitude was good and he had a clear understanding of himself. Although there were many shortcomings, the advantages couldn't be covered up. He Lefeng glanced awkwardly at Lin Yan before he turned to Mo Shuyun. Sister Yan, you're right. My racing skills are terrible. If the team hadn't belonged to my family, I wouldn't have become a professional racer. I want to learn from you, Captain. Mo Shuyun chuckled softly. Brother Lefeng, you have to work hard. Since I'm the captain of the He family team, I have to take responsibility. I told your cousin that I will personally train you, but if you can't satisfy me, I won't let you compete. He Lefeng's eyes lit up when he heard Mo Shuyun. Captain, you're training me personally. That's great. Don't worry, Captain. I will definitely work hard. Captain? He Mingkai sneered coldly. I am the captain of the He family team. Even if you enter the He family team, you will only be a vice-captain. Oh. Vice-captain? Mo Shuyun glanced at Lin Yan and asked, Idol, what is your relationship with this gangster of the He family team? He Dingkuan glanced at Mo Shuyun in astonishment. Old master, you don't have to worry about this for me. Investing is my own business. If I make a profit, everyone will be happy. If I make a loss, I won't have any regrets. I only invested 20% of the shares because I like the potential of the He family team. For a better reading experience, please browse to the website for a better reading experience. Chapter 474. Mo Shuyun paused before he added, "Of course, old master, you're the boss of the He family team. Whether I can invest or not depends on you. Old master, please give me a clear answer. Can I invest or not?" "Of course." He Dinkuan replied hastily. "Shuyun, based on your abilities and connections, as well as my years of experience and connections, I believe that we will be a strong team." Mo Shuyun grinned. This old man didn't forget to compliment him as well. "All right, old master. It's settled then. I will invest 20% of the He family team's shares. In the future, I can consider investing more. Perhaps I can bring my friends along with me. However, I have one condition. I can't use these people anymore. You should be aware of the He family team's situation." Mo Shuyun replied. "What did you say?" He Xiong glared at Mo Shuyun and gritted his teeth. "Ha ha." Mo Shuyun glanced at He Xiong and chuckled softly. "I've heard about you from Miss Lin Yan. All these years, your son has been the captain of the He family team, while you've been the manager. However, the facts have proven that you and your son aren't suited for this job. I'm a straightforward person, so I hope you can understand that I don't have any ill intentions when I say that you're parasites of the He family team." He Dinkuan's expression darkened. No matter what, He Xiong was his son, and He Mingkai was his grandson. However, the problem that Mo Shuyun had pointed out was real. He Mingkai's driving skills could only qualify him as an ordinary member of a beginner team at best. He Xiong, on the other hand, had been appointed to manage the He family team because he was his son. "Grandfather, since Mo Shuyun has invested in the team, let him be the team's captain and manager. After all, he has been the captain of a big team before. He is experienced in management," Lin Yan chimed in. "Lin Yan." Suddenly, He Mingkai glared at Lin Yan. "You're an ingrate. You brought people to harm us. Are you trying to destroy the He family team? Bastard, I knew you didn't have any good intentions." He Xiong also said angrily. Mo Shuyun shrugged nonchalantly. "If you say that, I don't mind not being the captain or investing in the team. I don't want to hurt the He family team." "Shut up." He Dinkuan frowned when he saw that He Xiong and He Mingkai were about to say something. How could Lin Yan possibly want to harm the He family team? They had poached the captain of a big team, and the captain would join the He family team for free. Not only would he not be paid, but he would also be able to invest in the team. This was a joyous occasion for the He family team. He Dinkuan knew the truth better than anyone else. He Xiong and He Mingkai were behaving this way because Mo Shuju's sudden entry had threatened their status. Naturally, they didn't want Mo Shuju to join the He family team. He Dinkuan knew better than anyone who was truly selfish. "Mingkai, you will listen to Mo Shuyun from now on. He Xiong, you will be in charge of the logistics." He Dinkuan said expressionlessly. "Dad, grandfather. Didn't I make myself clear?" He Dinkuan slammed his walking stick against the ground. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 475. He Mingkai and He Xiong knew that the old master was about to lose his temper, so they didn't dare show it. "You're He Mingkai, right? As the old master's grandson, I can allow you to stay with the He family team. However, my training will be very strict and tough. If you can't meet the standards or drag the He family team down, I'm sorry, but I don't care who you are or what your status is. You have to pack your things and scram. I'm very direct and I don't have any ill intentions. You won't blame me, right?" Mo Shuyun grinned at him. After hearing Mo Shuyun's words, He Mingkai said coldly, "You want to train me? If it weren't for the old master and Miss Lin Yan, I wouldn't have trained a good-for-nothing like you." Mo Shuyun grinned. "Who are you calling a good-for-nothing?" He Xiong's forehead throbbed with rage. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a good-for-nothing. I'm just an arrogant person who doesn't know his place. Mo Shuyun corrected himself. Brother Kai, Captain Mo is more than qualified to train us. If it weren't for Sister Yen and grandfather, I don't think Captain Mo would be willing to teach us even if we offered a huge sum of money. He Lufeng glanced at He Mingkai with a frown. Look at him. Look at him. He's so sensible and eloquent. They both share the same surname. Why is there such a huge gap between us? Mo Shuyun eyed He Lufeng intently. Your father must have taught you well. He Xiong glared at Mo Shuyun. He had said that He Lufeng's father had taught He Lufeng well. Did he mean that He Mingkai hadn't been taught well? Old master, I'm a straightforward person, but I don't have any ill intentions. I'm doing this for the good of the He family team. Hence, I don't care about family ties. Old master, I believe you can understand me. Mo Shuyun glanced at He Dinkuan. He Dinkuan nodded and replied, I understand. It's fine. Actually, you're right. The He family team should follow the rules. Nothing can be accomplished without them. I believe you've heard what the old man said. He Mingkai and He Xiong, you two can go back to work. I'll look for you if there's anything I need from the team. It's not appropriate for you to stay here, Mo Shuyun said. A high-level discussion? What high-level discussion? He Xiong said coldly. You can leave now, He Dinkuan said before Mo Shuyun could respond. Since He Dinkuan had spoken, He Mingkai and He Xiong couldn't say anything else, so they left sullenly. After He Xiong and his son left, He Dinkuan prepared an investment contract. Mo Shuyun didn't say anything and signed his name on the contract. As for the trivial matters after the investment, he wasn't in a hurry to deal with them. My idol, old master, let Yunxian and Lufeng test drive the car, Mo Shuyun said after a while. The old master was well aware of He Lufeng's capabilities. However, He Dinkuan wasn't confident about Yunxian. The boy that Lin Yan had brought home was quiet and refined. His personality didn't seem suitable for driving fast. Of course, Yunxian's driving skills had to be tested on the track first. Test the car now, asked He Lufeng. What else? Next year, quipped Mo Shuyun. He Lufeng was speechless. Chapter 476. Captain, I'm fine with it. I can do it any time. He Lufeng nodded. I'm fine with it too, Yunxian chimed in softly. Lin Yan glanced at Yunxian, who had been standing next to her. If Mo Shuyun hadn't mentioned him, he would have forgotten about Yunxian's existence. This boy didn't have much of a presence. If it hadn't been for his unique aura and outstanding looks, he wouldn't have stood out in the crowd. All right, let's go and try. I want to see how good brother Yunxian is. He Dinkuan grinned. Yunxian seemed a little nervous when he heard He Dinkuan. Lin Yan patted Yunxian's shoulder gently to calm him down. Mo Shuyun drove them to the He family's training ground in the suburbs. When they arrived, Mo Shuyun said, You guys can pick your own car and get ready. Let me know when you're ready. Captain Mo, are you going to run? Asked He Lufeng. Why would I run? I'll watch you guys run. Mo Shuyun sighed heavily. He didn't think this kid was smart. All right, Captain. I'll do my best. He Lufeng turned around to get ready. Good attitude. Mo Shuyun nodded at He Lufeng after he left. He Mingkai was the scariest. He didn't have any skills, but he was arrogant and didn't know his own limits. If this kind of person didn't know his limits, he wouldn't be able to improve his driving skills much in this lifetime. On the other hand, although He Lufeng's driving skills were terrible, he had the right attitude and knew his place. Hence, he had a lot of room for improvement. Yunxian, aren't you going to pick a car? Lin Yan asked curiously when she noticed Yunxian standing beside her. Sister. Yunxian gazed at Lin Yan and said softly, when we came here that night. I observed all the cars. Other than He Minkai's car, the rest are all the same. So, I'm fine with anything. Lin Yan nodded. She hadn't expected Yun Xian to be so meticulous. He had memorized every detail on the first night he had arrived at the He family team's training ground. After about a quarter of an hour, Yun Xian and He Lifeng were ready. He Lifeng was using He Minkai's car, while Yun Xian was using a random car. Ready? He Dingkuan asked. Grandpa, okay. He Lifeng said. Anytime, Yun Xian said. Hold on. Lin Yan strode forward and opened the door to Yun Xian's car. I'll follow the car, replied Lin Yan. Sister. You will puke if I drive too fast. Yun Xian reminded Lin Yan. Lin Yan was speechless. She wouldn't throw up even if she were to drive a rocket, a submarine, or a tractor, let alone a race car. I'm fine, replied Lin Yan. Then. Big sister, can I drive a little slower? Yun Xian continued. Don't. Lin Yan shook her head furiously. Give it your all and drive as fast as you normally would. Don't deliberately slow down, but don't force yourself to go too fast either. I want you to be at your usual speed. Do you understand? Okay. Big sister, I understand, Yun Xian answered obediently. Sister Yan, you can't do this. As Lin Yan got into Yun Xian's car, He Lifeng couldn't stand it any longer. He rolled down the window and hissed, Sister Yan, if you want to get in, you should get in my car. You're my brother, all right? Why are you so biased? No way. How can I compete with him if you get in Yun Xian's car? Hurry up and come over. Didn't we have a good time working together? Chapter 477. Lin Yan was dumbfounded when she heard He Lifeng. Had she enjoyed working with him? She had been He Lifeng's navigator during the He family's life and death competition. She had almost fainted because of He Lifeng, but he had actually thought that it had been fun. Wasn't he the one who had been happy? I refuse. Lin Yan rejected him immediately. I know how good you are. Don't worry, I won't say a word in Yun Xian's car. I just want to see how Yun Xian is doing. You should focus on your own. He Lifeng looked as though his heart had been broken by Lin Yan's ruthless rejection. He mumbled something under his breath and wound up the window. Do you want to familiarize yourself with the car? Lin Yan glanced at Yun Xian. Yun Xian's eyes darted around furiously. After a few seconds, he replied, Sister, there's no need. I'm already familiar with it. When I was in school, I often rented this kind of car. All the best. Lin Yan nodded. He Lifeng and Yun Xian's car sped away at the same time as the old master waved the flag. Lin Yan's eyes darted to Yun Xian from time to time as the car sped away. Initially, Yun Xian didn't look any different. However, as time passed, Lin Yan realized that Yun Xian seemed different. There was a hint of madness in his eyes as he overtook He Lifeng's car. The corners of his mouth curled up into an arrogant smile. He's too weak. Yun Xian's lips curled up as he spoke casually. Whoosh. Not long after Yun Xian finished speaking, the car he was driving completed the first lap. He Lifeng was hot on his heels. He Lifeng's car was better than Yun Xian's. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be slower than Yun Xian. However, it was reasonable that He Lifeng couldn't catch up to Yun Xian. Yun Xian had been meticulous in every detail, be it the condition of the training track, the way he had handled the sharp bends, or the obstacles on the ground. If these details weren't handled well, the difference would be like heaven and earth. If he was slower by a few seconds, he wouldn't even be able to catch the exhaust. He Lifeng and Yun Xian had handled the track so well that He Lifeng wouldn't even be able to catch the exhaust from Yun Xian's car. After a few obstacles and bends, He Lifeng was at least 5 seconds slower than Yun Xian. These 5 seconds were like heaven and earth. Lin Yan studied Yun Xian carefully. The passion in Yun Xian's eyes was more obvious than before. He seemed to have entered a state of forgetfulness, and all he could see was the racetrack. Every time he tackled an obstacle or a curve, it was as though he had gone through thousands of training sessions. However, this was the first time Yun Xian was training on the He family team's training ground. Yun Xian gave Lin Yan the impression that he resembled one of her disciples, the racetrack butcher. He was similar to Yun Xian when he was driving and his driving style. The only difference was that his apprentice wasn't as quiet as Yun Xian. He wasn't obedient either. Other than his master, Yeva, he disliked everyone else and didn't respect anyone. He didn't even care about his apprentices. He was the most unpopular one among Lin Yan's apprentices. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 478. A moment later, the car that Yun Xian was driving stopped at the finish line. Lin Yan snapped out of her daze and glanced at Yun Xian. Why didn't you drive to the finish line? The passion and arrogance in Yun Xian's eyes had disappeared, and he had returned to his usual obedient self. He said hesitantly, "Big sister, should I wait for Lefeng? I'm so much faster than him, isn't that bad?" Lin Yan was speechless. What the F***ck? Her disciples had waited at the finish line to humiliate their opponents, while Yun Xian had waited for them at the finish line to take care of their opponents. There's no need. Lin Yan sighed helplessly. He is used to being humiliated. All right then. Finally, Yun Xian drove to the finish line after Lin Yan's persuasion. After about 3 minutes, He Lefeng caught up with them. Oh my god. Why? I didn't see any amazing techniques. Why are you so much faster than me? Could it be that my car's performance isn't as good as yours? He Lefeng stared at Yun Xian, who was chatting with Lin Yan, He Dingkuan, and the others. He was stunned. Sorry, I don't know either. I just think that you're too slow. Yun Xian raised his head and explained softly to He Lefeng. He Lefeng wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Was he that slow? Actually, just as He Lefeng had said, Yun Xian hadn't shown any special techniques on the track. He had even taken the corners normally. However, because of his handling of the details, Yun Xian had been much faster than He Lefeng. It's normal that you're slower than him. Mo Shuyun's eyes trailed to He Lefeng. Your handling of the obstacles is worlds apart from Yun Xian's. You wouldn't be able to beat him even if there were 10 of you. Huh? My handling of the obstacles? He Lefeng was dumbfounded. Hadn't he handled them well? However, Yun Xian, you've surprised me. You have great potential. Mo Shuyun re-evaluated Yun Xian. Thank you, Captain. I'm still lacking compared to you. I hope to learn from you. I want to improve, Yun Xian said softly. Ha ha ha, that's too nice of you. Don't worry, I'll guide you well. Yun Xian, you've passed my test, Mo Shuyun said. Not bad. You ran really well. None of the previous members of the He family team could compare to you, Yun Xian. Given your situation, it wouldn't be a problem for you to join an intermediate team, He Dingkuan commented. This boy called Yun Xian had indeed given him a great surprise. Old man, you're underestimating Yun Xian. If Yun Xian were to undergo professional training, he would be better than the average racer of a first-rate team, Mo Shuyun said, giving Yun Xian high praise. F***ck. Brother Yun, how did you run? Teach me. He Lefeng ran to Yun Xian excitedly. You're amazing. Thank you. I myself also need to learn. There are still many things I need to do. Let's work hard together. Yun Xian said softly. Let's put training aside for now. We are the only few members of the He family team right now. I've told everyone else to get lost. We have to recruit new racers. Yun Xian, are there any young racers who are good at running? Mo Shuyun asked. Yun Xian mulled it over for a moment before replying slowly, "It seems like they aren't doing very well. Forget it. Let me handle this. When we find more racers to join the He family team, I'll train with all of you," Mo Shuyun replied. Update is over. It's the last 2 days of the month. I'm begging for monthly votes and recommendation votes. I'm going to compile the list of winners for the canvas bags. P.S. Dear babies, the story of Gong Xiaoqiao and Gu Xingxian that you've been waiting for is finally here. It's published as A Gentleman's Dilemma. The first 800 people will receive an autographed postcard, a Chow hairpin, and a bookmark. The official pre-sale address is Tmall's De Zhou bookstore. Chapter 479. He Dinkuan heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Mo Shuyun. The He family team had been reshuffled. The members of the previous He family team would be dealt with in the next few days. They would be the only ones left in the He family team. Finding more racers and navigators was their top priority now. Shuyun, about the salary. He Dinkuan's eyes landed on Mo Shuyun once more. Although he found it difficult to speak, he had to explain the He family's current predicament. Even though the previous He family team members hadn't been talented and had been slackers just like Mo Shuyun had said, their salaries weren't that high, so it was still acceptable. If Mo Shuyun were to recruit talented racers, the salary would be a huge problem. The He family team wouldn't be able to afford the salary of a mid-tier racer, even if they were asked to pay a mid-tier racer. Mo Shuyun immediately understood what He Dinkuan was talking about. He smiled and said, "Old master, to put it bluntly, I'm afraid it's unrealistic to think of poaching racers based on salary alone. No matter how high the salary is, I don't think we'll be able to find anyone." Then, He Dinkuan was taken aback. If Mo Shuyun couldn't recruit talented racers based on the salary, what could they rely on? Of course, He Dinkuan could understand Mo Shuyun's words. It was indeed difficult for the He family team to recruit talented racers and navigators based on the salary alone. "We can rely on potential," Mo Shuyun replied softly. "Only racers with sufficient potential and ability would choose to join the He family team. I believe that if the He family team has a captain, we will be able to attract talented racers," Yun Xian whispered softly. Mo Shuyun grinned and didn't say anything else. To put it bluntly, he had been interested in the He family team's potential. That was why he had agreed to become the captain and invest in the team. Mo Shuyun believed that, given Lin Yan's abilities, as long as she didn't abandon the He family team would shine one day. After leaving the He family mansion, Lin Yan wanted to return to Cloud Manor. However, Pei Yutang suddenly sent her a text message. "Sister-in-law, where's the present? Where's the present? Are you ready? We're almost out of time." Lin Yan fell into deep thought as she read his message. He immediately replied. "Falling rain, setting sun, I'm looking, wishing big brother and sister-in-law a happy marriage. Sister-in-law, this time, it's all up to you. The gift must be big, heavy, and have a sense of quality. It's best to add a little more meaning so that it's different from others." Lin Yan furrowed her eyebrows. This kid was really demanding. However, since he had made such a request, she would naturally try her best to satisfy him. Lin Yan walked into a shop. Century Watch shop. The boss was a middle-aged man who was sitting behind the counter, wiping an old watch. "Boss." Lin Yan glanced at the owner with a smile. The owner raised his head and glanced at Lin Yan. "Welcome. How can I help you?" "I want to buy a big clock," replied Lin Yan. Yes. The boss stood up and walked out of the counter. He pointed at a row of seemingly old clocks in front of the door and said, "These are all old goods." "Miss, why are you buying clocks?" Lin Yan grinned. "It's a gift." Chapter 480. The owner of the watch shop stared at Lin Yan in confusion. Had he heard wrongly? Was she buying a clock as a gift? Isn't that like giving someone a bell? Isn't it a homonym for sending someone off? Miss, wait, let me confirm. Are you buying a watch as a gift or a clock as a gift? The owner of the watch shop was a little uncertain. He had been in this business for years, but he had never heard or seen anyone giving a clock as a gift. A clock? You heard me right. I'm giving a clock, replied Lin Yen. The owner of the watch shop studied Lin Yen with a strange expression on his face. This young lady was impressive. She was a ruthless person. Then, beauty, do you have any requests? The owner of the watch shop continued to ask. Firstly, it has to be cheap. Secondly, it has to be big and heavy, replied Lin Yen. Then buy a new clock. Old clocks are considered toys and are very valuable, so they won't be cheap. A new clock will be cheaper, so the difference in price is huge, explained the owner. Then I'll buy a new clock. The cheapest one will do. Lin Yen grinned. After paying for the clock, the owner glanced at Lin Yen and asked, Beauty, do you need me to deliver it to you? Lin Yen pondered for a moment before she nodded. Boss, let's exchange contact details. I'll let you know when I deliver it. Sure. The owner agreed. Tell me the address and time. I'll get someone to deliver it to you on time. Pei Yutong had been waiting for her when she returned to Cloud Manor. Pei Yutong scuttled over to her when he saw her. Pei Yutong sat on the couch in the room. Sister-in-law, how was it? Have you settled the gift? Lin Yen nodded when she saw the anticipation on Pei Yutong's face. Don't worry. It's done. Is it big enough? Pei Yutong asked excitedly. Don't worry. It's definitely big enough. Lin Yen nodded. Is it heavy enough? Asked Pei Yutong. It's very heavy, replied Lin Yen. Does it have any connotation? Is it unique enough? The main reason is that it might be unique and artistic. If you give it to others, they will definitely look at you with sparkling eyes. Lin Yen looked serious. Pei Yutong looked puzzled. Sister-in-law. Why do I feel like you're not reliable? Why? You don't believe me? Lin Yen frowned. No. I trust you very much. Now that you've said that, I know what to do. It's all thanks to you this time. Pei Yutong was all smiles. That's more like it. How many miles did I travel for your gift? Lin Yen rolled her eyes at him. Sister-in-law, you've worked hard. Where's the present? Show it to me. Pei Yutong eyed Lin Yen intently. Why are you in such a hurry? It has to be big and heavy. Am I supposed to carry it around with me? Quipped Lin Yen. Okay, sister-in-law, tell me what you bought for me so that I can be mentally prepared. Why are you in such a hurry? You'll know when I send it to you. If I tell you now, I won't be surprised. Lin Yen grinned. Pei Yutong nodded solemnly. All right then. How much is the gift? I'll pay you. Lin Yen pondered for a moment before she grinned. There's no hurry. I haven't sent it yet. You can pay me after the banquet. Chapter 481. Oh yeah, sister-in-law. Pei Yutong was about to leave and a thought struck him. He halted and turned around to look at Lin Yen. What's wrong? Asked Lin Yen. The top team in the country will be competing against Yeva tomorrow. Do you want to go? Asked Pei Yutong. Lin Yen nodded and replied, Sure, let's go and take a look. All right then. We'll go together tomorrow. Pei Yutong turned around and left. Shortly after Pei Yutong left, God Zi and the others texted Lin Yen at the same time, as though they had agreed on it. They informed Lin Yen that Yeva would be competing against the best team in the country at the racetrack in the capital city tomorrow morning. They had also invited Lin Yen to watch. Of course, Lin Yen wouldn't reject them. Besides, she had promised Pei Yutong that she would be there on time. She wanted to see just what kind of divine being that imposter was. Since she had the guts to compete against the best team in the country, it meant that her driving skills weren't bad. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had the guts to do so. Lin Yan was looking forward to the private dinner tomorrow. That night, Mo Shuyun created a group chat and added Lin Yan, Yun Xian, and He Lefeng. Cold-blooded boy typed, "Hello." Wind-chasing general typed, "Cold-blooded boy? I'm Sunshine Boy. Who is this? Does this name belong to 20 years ago?" Cold-blooded boy typed, "I'm Mo Shuyun." Wind-chasing general typed, "Oh. Captain Mo. That's a good name. I'm He Lefeng." Cold-blooded boy typed, "Your name isn't any better than mine." Yun Xian was speechless. Expert driver. Who the hell changed my group ID? Lin Yan stared at her phone with a dumbfounded expression on her face. Expert driver? Cold-blooded boy typed, "Idol. I changed it. Don't you like it?" Without hesitation, Lin Yan changed her username back to her old one. Misty City amid the setting sun typed, "Don't change my name." Her name was a life-saving tool. How could she change it? Cold-blooded boy typed, "Alright, Idol. Got it." Yun Xian, the cold-blooded boy replied, "Inform them that I'll be bringing 2 young warriors to the training ground tomorrow. He Lefeng and Yun Xian, come over. We'll train together and build up our chemistry." Yun Xian, "Yes, Captain." Windchaser exclaimed, "Wow. You found 2 racers so quickly. How good are they?" The cold-blooded boy, "Definitely stronger than you." Young wind-chasing general, Misty City amid the setting sun, "I might not have time tomorrow, so I'll have to trouble you for a while, Captain Mo. Let me finish what I have on hand first." Cold-blooded boy, "Alright Idol, I don't need you for the time being. When you have time, just come over and take a look at the newcomers. Once you find a few more, you can continue with the competition." Misty City amid the setting sun, "Thank you for your hard work. Oh, by the way, there's another important matter." The cold-blooded boy, "What is it, Idol?" Misty City amid the setting sun, "Admin, send a red packet." Great luck. The cold-blooded boy, the next morning. Lin Yan woke up early, but there were thousands of messages on WeChat. Lin Yan was dumbfounded when she unlocked her phone. Mo Shuyun, He Lefeng, and the others had chatted the entire night and had only ended half an hour ago. Misty City amid the setting sun, "Aren't you guys going to the training ground today?" She waited for a long time, but no one replied. The 3 of them had chatted the entire night, so they probably wouldn't wake up until nightfall. Chapter 482. Lin Yan felt a little helpless. Mo Shuyun was too unreliable. Sister-in-law. Sister-in-law, are you awake? Pei Yutong had just washed up when he yelled at the top of his lungs. Lin Yan opened the door and glanced at Pei Yutong, who was dressed like a gentleman. Stop shouting. Sister-in-law, aren't you going to dress up? We are going to meet Yeva. Pei Yutong couldn't help but speak up when he saw Lin Yan in her casual attire. Why? Do you have a problem with that? Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong expressionlessly. Am I not presentable? Pei Yutong shook his head furiously. How could that be? Sister-in-law, you look presentable no matter what. Simple, but not simple. An hour later, Pei Yutong drove Lin Yan to a private arena in the suburbs of the capital city. Lin Yan scanned her surroundings and realized that there was no one around. Why isn't anyone here? Lin Yan's eyes darted to Pei Yutong in surprise. Of course. Pei Yutong grinned at Lin Yan. Sister-in-law, we agreed to meet at 9:30 p.m. It's only 7:30 p.m. Why would anyone be here? Lin Yan was startled when she heard Pei Yutong. Why was he here so early? You arrived 2 hours early? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched as she stared at Pei Yutong. Sister-in-law, we are the first to arrive. That way, we will appear more important. Pei Yutong replied matter-of-factly. Lin Yan could only sigh helplessly. She wanted nothing more than to slap his smug face. Even if he was important, he had arrived 2 hours early. There was no one around. Who was he trying to show off? Lin Yan and Pei Yutong sat in the car and waited for more than an hour before people started to arrive. Miss Lin Yan, you're early. ZH1's Mumu got out of the car and walked to Lin Yan with a smile on his face. How could it be early? It was much earlier than he had expected. Where is your captain? Lin Yan asked curiously. God Z was nowhere to be seen. He should be here soon, replied Mumu. The moment he said that, one of the cars stopped by the side of the road and Almighty Z alighted. Miss Lin Yan. God Z seemed to be in a good mood when he saw Lin Yan. Is there only you and Mumu in ZH1? Lin Yan asked curiously. Yes. God Z nodded. Other than K1, the other teams only have 1 or 2 slots. The K1 team was currently the strongest team in the country. The imposter would be competing against the K1 team in today's friendly match. I didn't expect the racetrack's Grim Reaper to come to this country. Furthermore, we can see her. It's so surreal, Mumu exclaimed. Indeed. Godzi chuckled softly. The K1 team has put in a lot of effort to be able to compete with Yeva. It's a pity that they are all professionals and there aren't any media outlets. Otherwise, it would be sensational. Being able to compete with Yeva is enough for K1 to brag about for the rest of his life. Pei Yutong chimed in. It was a pity that his finances were being controlled. Otherwise, he could have sent his team to compete with Yeva. Now, he could only watch from the sidelines. At this moment, a silver sports car drove over and stopped by the roadside. Wei Shufeng put on his sunglasses as he got out of the car. Wei Shufeng caught sight of Lin Yan the moment he got out of the car. Lin Yan. Why are you here? Wei Shufeng hadn't expected Lin Yan to appear. He couldn't believe his eyes. Chapter 483. Lin Yan glanced at Wei Shufeng in confusion. After some time, she replied, If you can come, why can't I? You, Wei Shufeng frowned, as though he wanted to say something. Before Wei Shufeng could say anything, Qi Xiaoyuan walked over slowly and pulled Wei Shufeng back. He shot him a meaningful look and said, Little Feng, you're meddling too much. It seems to me that you want to control everything. What does it have to do with you if they want to come or not? Wei Shufeng shook his head and glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan. I can understand the others, but Lin Yan, why do I need you to understand? Are you the host? Aren't we invited guests? Don't treat yourself like the host, Qi Xiaoyuan hissed. Wei Shufeng was speechless. Wei Shufeng couldn't refute Qi Xiaoyuan's words, as there was nothing wrong with that. However, Wei Shufeng was puzzled by the fact that the people who had been invited to meet Yeva were all reputable people in the industry. Logically speaking, Lin Yan shouldn't have the right to meet Yeva. No. She shouldn't even know that Yeva had come to the country. Wei Shufeng studied Lin Yan from time to time. What was wrong with this woman? Why did she appear wherever he went? First, she kept imitating his goddess. Now, she was attending her private banquet. Lin Yan didn't seem bothered by Wei Shufeng's gaze. It seemed like Qi Xiaoyuan had kept his promise and hadn't revealed anything. Otherwise, if Wei Shufeng had known that Yeva was an imposter, he would have blown things up. However, judging from Wei Shufeng's behavior, he shouldn't have known. After a while, more and more people arrived. Anyone who was able to come here was a well-known figure in the circle, including Air Force's team and some of the top Chinese racing teams. Almost all of them had arrived. Lin Yan even spotted the WW team. However, WW's captain seemed embarrassed to see Lin Yan, so he pretended not to see her. Sister-in-law, I'm so excited. I will be able to see Yeva race with my own eyes. This is so exciting. Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yan excitedly. You're excited already? Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong. She was afraid that his heart wouldn't be able to take it. Sister-in-law, there's a private dinner tonight. Have you settled the gift? Pei Yutong asked again. Don't worry. Everything is ready. The gifts will be delivered to you during the banquet. Lin Yan glanced at him. Sister-in-law, I'm looking forward to it. Pei Yutong chuckled. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. Just as they were talking, a fleet of cars approached them from the front. Everyone was familiar with the leading team. It was K1, the top team from the Hua nation that the racetrack's death god would be competing against. Behind the K1 fleet, there was a huge nanny van, surrounded by many security guards. F***CK. Yeva must be in that nanny van. Pei Yutong craned his neck and blurted out anxiously. Dear readers, the list of winners for the 50 canvas bags has been posted in the book review section. Everyone, please remember to collect your prizes in the group chat within the next 7 days. It's almost November 1st. If there are any babies who haven't cast their monthly votes, please do so now. Otherwise, it will be invalid next month. The active ranking will end at 2350 today, in case the data is delayed. Chapter 484. Even without Pei Yutong's reminder, Lin Yan knew that the imposter was in the van. However, why would the security guards around the van be an insult to Yeva? She was the strongest security guard, so she could fight against 10 people easily. Why would she need someone else to protect her? Wasn't this a little too much? Other than the security guards, the K1 guards were more like Yeva's personal bodyguards. Their bootlicking skills were amazing. Wei Shufeng, who had been sitting by the side, jumped to his feet when he saw the van approaching. He had a complicated expression on his face as he watched the van. He was a little agitated and nervous. Are you nervous? Wei Shufeng's eyes trailed to Qi Xiaoyuan. Qi Xiaoyuan seemed distracted as he kept looking in Lin Yan's direction. He only snapped back to his senses when Wei Shufeng called his name for the 3rd time. What's wrong? Qi Xiaoyuan asked curiously. We're about to meet boss. Are you nervous? Asked Wei Shufeng. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly and replied, What's there to be nervous about? I'm not nervous at all. Wei Shufeng was taken aback. Qi Xiaoyuan seemed to have changed. In the past, he had never behaved like this when he mentioned Yeva. Furthermore, he was about to meet her. Please give us some space. Don't crowd around. The K1 team members got out of the van and walked in front. One of the K1 team members spoke softly. Hearing this, the crowd immediately retreated to make way for the entire K1 team and the minivan behind them. K1 status in the country's racing industry was extremely high. Teams like ZH1 and WW had no choice but to retreat when they saw K1. Although they were both T1 teams, there was still a huge gap between them. There was almost no way to compare them. There were only a handful of teams in the country that could compete with the K1 racing team. There were 1 or 2 old freakish teams, but in recent years, there had been no competition. Hence, the K1 racing team was temporarily the #1 team in the country. There were 3 teams under the K1 team, and there were dozens of them. Other than the team members, the 3 captains were also present. It's rare to see all 3 captains of K1 appear at the same time, Pei Yutong remarked softly. Lin Yan glanced at him and replied, I'm not familiar. Pei Yutong, who was taken aback, exclaimed in disbelief, Sister-in-law, are you kidding me? Don't you know the top team in the country, K1? Lin Yan pondered for a moment before replying, I don't know, Pei Yutong, sister-in-law, I wouldn't have believed that you knew how to race if I hadn't seen you with my own eyes. Pei Yutong sighed heavily. Sister-in-law, it doesn't matter. When I have the time, I will tell you more about the different teams in the country. Actually, although K1 is the top team, there are 2 other teams that are much stronger than K1. However, they haven't done anything in the past few years. I wonder what they are up to. Lin Yan didn't want to reject Pei Yutong's enthusiasm. However, she wasn't too interested in the national teams. November 1st is the start of a new month. I'm begging for a guaranteed monthly vote. Today, I'll pick one of the contestants and give you a Dior lipstick. Just get a monthly vote. Chapter 485. Sister-in-law, let me tell you something. Do you see that man with a buzzcut and a poker face? He is the captain of K1's Team 3. The other one is Blondie, the captain of K1's Team 2. The last one is a pretty girl who looks cold and aloof. She is the captain of K1's Team 1. Pei Yutong told Lin Yan. Lin Yan glanced at the K1 team and replied, "Oh, got it. Sister-in-law, the captain of K1's Team 1 is very good. I reckon that she is even better than you. She is one of the top female racers in the country." Pei Yutong quipped. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong in confusion. "Why do you keep comparing me to her?" "Sister-in-law, of course I have to compare you to her. Firstly, the captain of K1 is one of the few female racers in the country. Coincidentally, you're also a woman and you are very good at racing. Who else can I compare her to?" Pei Yutong replied matter-of-factly. "Why don't you compare her to Yeva?" quipped Lin Yan. Pei Yutong was taken aback by Lin Yan's words. He stared at Lin Yan in shock. "Who should I compare her to? Yeva? Sister-in-law, are you serious? This. As the saying goes, how can the light of a firefly compete with the brilliance of the moon? They are in two completely different worlds. There's no way to compare them. Although Yeva is also a lady, this isn't a matter of gender." Lin Yan tilted her head and glanced at Pei Yutong. Hence, the female captain of K1 couldn't possibly be compared to the racetrack's Grim Reaper. However, she could be compared to her and was even better than her. This logic was really F***king strong. Ma. Air. Madame Lin Yan. Before Pei Yutong could respond, Qi Xiaoyuan, who was standing not too far away, approached Lin Yan with a fawning smile on his face. "What are you doing?" Pei Yutong frowned and blocked Qi Xiaoyuan, who was about to get close to Lin Yan. "Why are you blocking me?" Qi Xiaoyuan asked curiously when he saw Pei Yutong standing in front of him. "Look at how perverted your smile is. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't force your way into it." Pei Yutong was annoyed. What kind of joke was this? Lin Yan was his sister-in-law. Pei Yutong was certain that the man before him was a shameless peach blossom. His big brother wasn't around, so he had the responsibility and obligation to help his big brother get rid of these peach blossoms. This was the best way for him to win his big brother's favor. "I'm boss. I mean, Madame Lin Yan's friend," Qi Xiaoyuan explained. "Friend?" Qi Xiaoyuan looked at Qi Xiaoyuan in disdain. "All the more reason not to get close. Listen to me and move aside. Get up and move." Lin Yan pinched her temples and glanced at Pei Yutong. Pei Yutong stared at Qi Xiaoyuan sternly. "Did you hear that? Madame Lin Yan is asking you to get up. I'm talking about you." Lin Yan stood behind Pei Yutong and poked him with her finger. "Pei Yutong, you can't do that. My brother isn't dead yet." Pei Yutong looked like he was about to cry. Lin Yan was speechless, Qi Xiaoyuan was speechless, Madame Lin Yan. "This silly. Is this man your friend?" Qi Xiaoyuan asked curiously. "My son." Lin Yan grinned. // Chapter 486. Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Lin Yan in shock. Then, he studied Pei Yutong, who was standing in front of Lin Yan. Son. Son. Qi Xiaoyuan swallowed his saliva. This son was way too big. Could he be the legendary giant baby? Nice to meet you. This young master is really handsome. Young master, what's your name? Qi Xiaoyuan smiled at Pei Yutong. Pei Yutong was speechless. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan had just been joking. Who would have thought that Qi Xiaoyuan would take it seriously? Young master, can you move aside? I have something to discuss with your mother. Uncle will buy you a gift later. Qi Xiaoyuan grinned when Pei Yutong didn't respond. What's wrong with you? Have you ever seen a young master this big? Pei Yutong pointed at Qi Xiaoyuan's nose and gestured at his own body. When Pei Yutong heard Lin Yan, he stepped aside. Qi Xiaoyuan looked a little awkward. Boss, I was scared to death just now. I really thought that he was your son. Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Lin Yan as though he had heaved a sigh of relief. He absolutely couldn't accept the fact that his boss had such a big son. He couldn't accept the fact that his boss was married and had a son, but that a loyal fan like him hadn't known about it at all. I was just joking. He is a good friend of mine. Lin Yan grinned. Qi Xiaoyuan heaved a sigh of relief. Boss, I'm not stupid. I just trust you too much. Boss, I believe everything you say. I'm just that loyal. Lin Yan looked as though she understood him. She wasn't stupid, but she could understand him. Boss, that imposter is too arrogant. How could an imposter make such a big scene? Qi Xiaoyuan gritted his teeth as he stared at the minivan driving slowly toward them. Boss, do you know that we, the guests who are attending the private banquet, have to prepare a greeting gift? They must be crazy about money. Are you ready? Lin Yan stared at Qi Xiaoyuan and asked anxiously. I'm ready. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. Wei Shufeng, that fool, forced me to buy it. I had no choice but to prepare it. What did you prepare? Lin Yan frowned. Don't worry, boss. It's not convenient for me to tell you now. You'll know when the banquet starts, Qi Xiaoyuan said with a smile. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when she heard that. She had been afraid that Qi Xiaoyuan would be silly enough to prepare an expensive gift. Boss, look at the K1 team's lackeys. It's disgusting. Qi Xiaoyuan continued. Before Lin Yan could respond, the van finally stopped. Immediately, everyone's eyes were filled with excitement and anticipation as they sized up the nanny van. Soon, the head of the security guard stepped forward and opened the door. In the next second, Lin Shia and Han Yishuan helped each other out of the car. Miss Lin Shia, I often see you on TV. This time, you look even more beautiful than on TV, one of the captains said to Lin Shia. Lin Shia grinned and glanced at the captain. Captain Zhen, you're too kind. We watch your competitions on TV too. Chapter 487. Haha. Captain Shen is very famous in the racing industry. His driving skills are excellent too, Lin Shia quipped. Captain Shen beamed brightly as he replied, Thank you, Miss Lin Shia, for your compliment. This must be Miss Lin Shia's fiancé, Mr. Han Yishuan. The two of them are a match made in heaven. The reason why the racetrack's Grim Reaper was invited to this country is not only because of Miss Lin Shia's efforts, but also because of Mr. Han Yishuan. It's not easy to invite such an important figure. WW's captain smiled at Han Yishuan. The corners of Han Yishuan's mouth curled up into a smile. Actually, I've always had a strong passion for racing. The racetrack's Grim Reaper is my favorite racer. It's not just Yeva. Her disciples, such as Lang Mang and Butcher, are my idols. It's a great honor for Shia and I to be able to invite a super idol like Yeva. What a hypocrite. If you want to invite someone, then invite the real one. Why did you invite an imposter? Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly at Lin Yan. Actually, Lin Yan didn't think that Lin Shia and Han Yishuan had invited an imposter. After all, they wouldn't have the guts to do so. Hence, Lin Shia and Han Yishuan must have been duped. Of course, whether they had been duped or not had nothing to do with Lin Yan. She could only say that evil people would be tortured by evil people. Haha. Mr. Han Yishuan isn't just a popular actor in the entertainment industry. He is also the heir of the Han family. Given his status and the fact that he is Yeva's biggest fan, it's only natural that he would be able to invite her. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly. Lin Yan glanced at his expression and asked curiously, "What's wrong?" "Boss, don't listen to them. Back then, you didn't even give Si Mingze any face when he invited you. How can Han Yishuan compare to Si Mingze? He doesn't even have the right to shine his shoes," Qi Xiaoyuan quipped. Si Mingze. Lin Yan was startled. She tried to recall who he was, but she couldn't recall who he was. Back when she was abroad, there were too many people who invited her, and there were all kinds of people. "Boss, it can't be. Did you forget Si Mingze? I heard that he fought with Pei Yucheng from JM Corporation." "Who is Pei Yucheng?" "He's a monster." However, Lin Yan didn't hear him at all. The woman had gotten out of the van and revealed her face. Racetrack's Grim Reaper. "Yeva!" Someone cried out in surprise. Not long after, everyone's eyes turned to look at the woman. The woman who stepped out of the minivan was wearing a signature silver racing suit. Her hair was so long that it reached her waist, and her eyes seemed to be hiding ice. Her aura was very strong. Even though she was just standing in the distance, she gave off a feeling that no one could approach her. She was extremely cold. "Yeva." "Boss." Wei Shufeng stared blankly at the woman who had just stepped out of the minivan. His eyes were transfixed, and his breathing became lighter. He was afraid that he was hallucinating. She was the goddess of his dreams. The racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva. Chapter 488. Wow, she's quite good-looking. Qi Xiaoyuan glanced at the girl as he muttered under his breath. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered coldly when he sensed Lin Yan's gaze. "She might be good-looking, but she's far from my boss. How dare she pretend to be my boss? That's an insult to her." Lin Yan was speechless. He was indeed a fan of hers, everyone. Before anyone could respond, Han Yishuan grinned and walked over to the girl. "This is the famous racetrack's Grim Reaper, Madame Yeva. This is the first time Madame Yeva has appeared in the industry. As we have agreed, I hope that everyone will abide by the written agreement and not take any photos or videos of Madame Yeva. Thank you for your cooperation." Hearing this, everyone nodded their heads. They naturally understood the rules. Besides, no one would be bold enough to expose Yeva's image in public. They would be courting death if they dared to do so. "Mr. Han Yishuan, don't worry. We have a high status in the industry. We know what we should and shouldn't do. What you're worried about will never happen," the captain of WW assured Han Yishuan solemnly. Han Yishuan nodded in response. Everyone was shocked to realize that the legendary racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, was whispering to Han Yishuan and Lin Shia. They seemed to be whispering something. "Boss, is she so close to Lin Shia and Han Yishuan?" Wei Shufeng was taken aback for a moment. Then, a hint of jealousy flashed across his eyes. Why could Lin Shia and Han Yishuan be so close to boss? If Lin Shia and Han Yishuan could do that, why couldn't he? Regardless of whether it was his reputation or his family background, he couldn't be compared to Lin Shia and Han Yishuan. Wei Shufeng calmed down quickly. Boss couldn't be that kind of person. He would never get close to someone just because they had a higher status. Otherwise, if a big shot like Gong Mingze had invited him, he wouldn't have rejected him so decisively. Although Wei Shufeng didn't know much about foreign affairs, he was familiar with the Gong family, which was one of the wealthiest families in China. Wei Shufeng shook his head. Why was he thinking about this? He should be satisfied that he could see boss's face and stand so close to her. "Hi, are you Wei Shufeng?" Just as Wei Shufeng lowered his head in silence, the girl suddenly appeared in front of him. Her icy aura seemed to melt a little as she smiled faintly. Ah. Wei Shufeng lifted his head and stared blankly at the goddess in his heart. When he saw the smile on her face and her eyes on him, his mind went blank. Wei Shufeng couldn't believe his eyes. Boss actually took the initiative to talk to him? Shia has been telling me about you. She says that you are my die-hard fan. The girl smiled. Wei Shufeng nodded frantically. Boss. I am. Wei Shufeng glanced at Lin Shia gratefully. Sorry for the long wait. Update is over. Yesterday's Dior lipstick kiss was You Don't Understand the World of Dummies. Please join the group to claim your prize. Please continue to beg for monthly votes and recommendation votes. Today, you will receive a custom-made bracelet. Please vote within this month. The bracelet is engraved with the words May You Be Carefree. The bottom of the bracelet is engraved with Adorable. Chapter 489. Wei Shufeng's gaze landed on Lin Shia as he looked at her gratefully. He hadn't expected that Lin Shia would mention him in front of Yeva. Shia, thank you. Wei Shufeng was visibly moved as he thanked Lin Shia. Lin Shia chuckled softly as she glanced at Wei Shufeng. Shufeng, there's no need to thank me. I know that you're a loyal fan of Madame Yeva. Before she retired, you would watch every single one of her competitions. You even gave up everything else. Hence, I think that Madame Yeva should get to know you. She would be happy to have a fan like you. Ha, the girl beside Wei Shufeng grinned at Lin Shia and said, Shia, thank you for introducing me to him. He's quite cute. Ah, Wei Shufeng felt as though he had been electrocuted as soon as the girl finished speaking. What did boss just say? He was quite cute. At this moment, it was like a dream, like reality and unreality were fusing together. Wei Shufeng had imagined himself chatting with boss countless times in the past. He had never imagined that boss would say that he was cute in front of him. Wei Shufeng's fair face turned slightly red. What the F***ck? Qi Xiaoyuan had the urge to slap Wei Shufeng to death when he saw him. This lad was a fake fan through and through. He didn't care about boss in person, but he wanted to sacrifice himself to the fake boss. He was hopeless. He should call the crematorium and get someone to cremate him. Guru. Suddenly, Pei Yutong walked to Wei Shufeng's side and gazed at the girl in awe. Hello. The girl retracted her gaze from Wei Shufeng and turned to Pei Yutong. Guru, are you still accepting disciples? Would you consider taking me in as your disciple? Pei Yutong gazed at the girl with anticipation. Disciple? The girl was taken aback when she heard Pei Yutong. Yes, yes, yes. I'm accepting a disciple. Pei Yutong nodded solemnly. Then, he said solemnly, Guru, I'm extremely talented in racing. I believe that if you accept me as your disciple, my racing skills will definitely surpass Lang Mang and Butcher. However, I'm sure they won't lose to me. Of course, as long as you're willing to accept me as your disciple, I'll accept any conditions. Pei Yutong raised his head, his eyes gleaming. He seemed to be announcing that he was rich. Although Pei Yutong's request was a little excessive, Lin Shia and Han Yishuan didn't say anything. Lin Shia and Han Yishuan weren't aware of Pei Yutong's identity. However, he had been introduced by an influential figure in the industry. His identity couldn't be simple. Before he could respond, Lin Yen pulled him back. Sister-in-law, what are you doing? This is a turning point in my life. It's a huge opportunity. Pei Yutong glanced at Lin Yen in confusion. Lin Yen glanced at him. Wanting to spend money to become the disciple of an impostor. Don't even think about it. She could become the disciple of an impostor, but she couldn't spend money. Do you believe that I won't tell your brother? Lin Yen whispered to Pei Yutong. Lin Yan's tone sounded as though she was threatening him. Do you believe that I won't tell your mother? Initially, Pei Yutong had been aggressive. However, as soon as Lin Yan spoke, he deflated like a deflated balloon. He no longer had the slightest bit of anger. Chapter 490. Pei Yutong shuddered involuntarily at the thought of his big brother. No matter what, I can't let Big Brother know about this. If Big Brother knows about this, my legs will be broken. Ha, sister-in-law, no. My dear father, look at what you're saying. Wasn't I just joking just now? How could I possibly become his disciple? Daddy, you're willing to teach me racing techniques. That's more than enough. I don't need anyone to teach me. Pei Yutong smiled apologetically at Lin Yan. Lin Yan shook her head in disdain. I refuse. Huh? Pei Yutong was taken aback. What do you mean? I refuse to teach you. Lin Yan was ruthless. Pei Yutong was speechless. Why are you here? Before Pei Yutong could respond, Han Yishuan and Lin Shuya had discovered that Lin Yan had stepped forward to pull Pei Yutong back. Han Yishuan's eyes darted to Lin Yan with a frown. Before Lin Yan could respond, Han Yishuan hissed coldly, how did you sneak in here? Why haven't you given up yet? Why do you insist on pestering Shuya and me? You even came to harass our guests today. Everyone's eyes darted to Lin Yan when they heard Han Yishuan's words. Lin Yan glanced at Han Yishuan, looking perplexed. Where did this fellow get his sense of superiority from? Yishuan, calm down. Sister might have met her by chance. Lin Shuya grabbed Han Yishuan's arm gently and tried to calm him down. Han Yishuan frowned as he glanced at Lin Shuya. Shuya, although I don't know how this woman managed to sneak in today, I'm sure she has a motive. She chose to come at the same time we invited Madame Yeva. How could there be such a coincidence? Yeva glanced at Lin Yan coldly before she turned to Han Yishuan. Mr. Han, isn't she an invited guest? No. Han Yishuan shook his head. Yeva's eyes hardened. Mr. Han, you should know that I have already said that I will only meet my fans and people in the industry. How can I allow anyone to come here? I'm sorry, Madame Yeva. This is our oversight. I will resolve it immediately. Han Yishuan glanced at the girl apologetically. Get him out. Han Yishuan glared at Lin Yan in disgust before he turned to the security guards and yelled at them. Dad, who is this person? Are you familiar with him? Pei Yutong lowered his voice and asked, is he one of the rumored boyfriends? Lin Yan was speechless. It wasn't a scandal, it was an ex-boyfriend. I don't know him very well. His name is Han. Lin Yan lowered her head as though she was deep in thought. Heh, she didn't have a good memory for people who weren't important to her. F***CK. Who the F***CK are you? Why are you acting all high and mighty here? Do you believe that I won't beat you up? Pei Yutong glared at Han Yishuan as he shouted coldly. What kind of joke was this? How could his sister-in-law be chased out by someone like him? Had he eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts? If Big Brother were to find out about this, wouldn't his teeth break? Of all people, why did he have to provoke the King of Hell's woman? Chapter 491. Of course, as Yan Wangpei's brother, he couldn't back down. Big Brother wasn't around, so he had to protect Big Sister-in-law. Otherwise, if Big Brother found out, he would be the one in trouble. Sir, please step aside. This has nothing to do with you. Han Yishuan glanced at Pei Yutong expressionlessly. Huh? Nothing to do with me? Why does it have nothing to do with me? Do you know who I am? Do you know who she is? Do you know who she is to me? Do you know who I am to her? Pei Yutong bellowed. Han Yishuan frowned when he heard that. Why was this man behaving like a lunatic? Why was he speaking so incoherently? It was ridiculous. Han Yishuan knew that this man's identity couldn't be that simple. When Pei Yutong's name had appeared on the invitation list, they had investigated him as well. However, the result of the investigation was that Pei Yutong managed an extremely weak team. Besides that, the man's identity seemed to be a mystery. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find out anything. I'm curious. Who exactly are you? Han Yishuan glanced at Pei Yutong expressionlessly. Pfft. Do you think you're fit to know my identity? Pei Yutong snorted coldly. Although he wanted to reveal his identity, Big Brother had forbidden him from stirring up trouble, especially when he was Pei Yucheng's brother. Hence, no one knew Pei Yutong's identity. Even if a small number of people knew, they wouldn't dare leak it. Pei Yutong himself wouldn't dare to do so either. Daddy, don't worry. I'm a man. As long as I'm around, no one will dare to bully you. Pei Yutong turned to Lin Yan with a serious expression. Yeah, you're a good boy. Lin Yan nodded eagerly. She was touched and relieved. He was indeed a good son. She hadn't doted on him for nothing. So, Pei Yutong replied solemnly, when we fight later, remember to protect me. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong knew how powerful his father was. These bodyguards wouldn't be a match for his father, but they would be more than enough to protect him. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong, feeling touched. However, when she heard Pei Yutong's words, her emotions vanished. This naughty kid. Chase her out. At that moment, Han Yishuan finally lost his patience. Let's see who dares. Suddenly, Qi Xiaoyuan, who had been standing beside Lin Yan, stepped forward with a cold expression on his face. Young Master Qi, what are you doing? Han Yishuan was slightly puzzled. I invited Miss Lin here. How dare you attack her? Qi Xiaoyuan hissed coldly. Before Han Yishuan could say anything else, Mumu and God Zi from ZH1 strode over. Mr. Han, what's the meaning of this? Miss Lin was invited by ZH1. Is this how you treat her? God Zi glared at Han Yishuan. God Zi also invited old Miss Lin Yan? Qi Xiaoyuan asked. Yeah, we happen to have an extra spot, so we gave it to Miss Lin, replied God Zi. Understood. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. In other words, boss was invited here by a few reputable people. However, this Han Yishuan actually dared to be so rude. Wei Shufeng stared at Qi Xiaoyuan in astonishment. Since when had Qi Xiaoyuan hooked up with Lin Yan? He had even disobeyed boss's orders to stand up for Lin Yan. Was he crazy? Chapter 492. Han Yishuan glanced at Pei Yutong, Qi Xiaoyuan, and God Zi in astonishment. How could this be possible? What was Lin Yan's relationship with them? Lin Yan hadn't snuck in. She had been invited by all three of them at the same time. Moreover, the three of them had gone to such lengths to confront him, the organizer of this private dinner, just to stand up for Lin Yan? What was their relationship with Lin Yan? Han Yishuan instinctively glanced at Lin Shuya. Lin Shuya seemed to be deep in thought. She wasn't surprised that God Zi had appeared. She had studied a lot of racing knowledge recently to get the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper in Legend. She had also watched many competitions in the country. Before Meeting One's match had been released, WW had challenged ZH1. Although she didn't know what had happened, the He family team had replaced ZH1 and competed against WW. In the end, Lin Yan had managed to beat WW. Although Lin Shuya knew that Lin Yan had been a racer overseas, she hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be so good at racing. She had even managed to beat a top team like WW, hence, Lin Yan had to be acquainted with ZH1's captain, God Zi. What she hadn't expected was that other than ZH1's God Zi, Qi Xiaoyuan and the mysterious Pei Yutong would also stand up for her. Lin Shuya's eyes trailed to Lin Yan as the corners of her mouth curled up into a sneer. She had really underestimated her sister. How could she hook up with three men at the same time? She wasn't simple at all, Madame Yeva. This is my sister. She isn't an outsider. She's also a member of a small team. Lin Xia glanced at the frosty girl as she spoke softly. The girl glanced at Lin Yan expressionlessly and replied coldly, I don't care who she is or which team she's from. I just hope that this won't happen again. Miss Yeva, we promise that there won't be any accidents. It was just a misunderstanding, the female assistant behind Lin Xia assured her. Little Z, it's not that I want to scold you, but today is a friendly match between us and Madame Yeva. We agreed that we wouldn't invite outsiders. It's not nice of you to bring someone over and make everyone unhappy. One of the K team's captains glanced at God Z impatiently and glanced at Lin Yan with disdain. Miss Lin Yan is my good friend and a talented racer. What do you mean by an outsider? God Z quipped. Hee, what do you mean, a female racer with decent skills? The K1 team's only female captain sneered at God Z. I know almost all the capable female racers in the country, but I'm sorry, I really don't know her. You're a female racer yourself. How could you look down on female racers? Isn't Madame Yeva a female racer too? Lin Yan chuckled nonchalantly. The female K1 racer was taken aback. She glared at Lin Yan coldly and said, don't try to change the topic. What I mean is that I know all the capable female racers in the country, but I don't know you. Lin Yan nodded. What a coincidence. What do you mean? Lin Yan replied, I don't know you either. End of update. Yesterday, the baby who won the adorable bracelet was GG of the super koi fish. Today, one person will continue to get the adorable bracelet, and there will be a monthly ticket draw event. Chapter 493. The female captain of the K1 team's eyes gleamed coldly when she heard Lin Yan. This woman's sarcasm was amusing. The female captain of the K1 team sneered coldly. Even if you don't know me, I'm the captain of a top team in the country. You're just a small team. If you hadn't hooked up with these men, I'm afraid you wouldn't even have the right to meet Madame Yeva. How can you say that? Pei Yutong stepped forward before Lin Yan could respond. He glared at the captain of the K1 team and said, I remember that your name is Zhou Yuan, right? Didn't you brush your teeth today? Why do you have such a foul mouth? Sister Yan's driving skills are probably better than yours. Zhou Yuan didn't think much of the first half of Pei Yutong's sentence. The corners of her mouth curled up into a smirk. Even if I close my eyes, she won't be able to catch up to me. Indeed. Lin Yan nodded calmly. She might not be able to catch up with her eyes open. Zhou Yuan, forget it. Before Zhou Yuan could retort, the captain of the K1 team stepped forward and said, what's the point of arguing with a small team? Don't embarrass yourself in front of others. Hearing this, Zhou Yuan was slightly taken aback. However, his words were not without reason. Let's go. We're about to race with Madame Yeva. Moments later, the K1 team entered the venue with their beloved Miss Yeva at the front and back. Boss, these people are asking for a beating. Qi Xiaoyuan stood beside Lin Yan, looking furious. If they knew that you're the real Yeva, I wonder what they would think. The K1 captains are such fools. Lin Yan chuckled softly at Qi Xiaoyuan's words but didn't comment. To Lin Yan, status didn't matter in the racing industry. Her ability was the only thing that mattered. Even though she had abandoned the name Yeva forever, given time, she could still become a new Yeva. Oh yeah, boss. Do you think that imposter can beat the K1 team? Qi Xiaoyuan gazed at Lin Yan with an odd expression on his face. Boss, K1 is the best racing team in the country. If the imposter loses, won't her identity be exposed? Qi Xiaoyuan asked. If she wasn't strong enough, she wouldn't have dared to impersonate me, replied Lin Yan softly. That is true. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded, but he was still curious. But, if the imposter really has the ability to outrun K1, there is no need for her to pretend to be the boss for money, unless the imposter has some other purpose, but based on the current situation, it looks like she is really here for money. Actually, Lin Yan was doubtful about Qi Xiaoyuan's analysis. Just as Qi Xiaoyuan had said, if she could really beat the entire K1 team, she wouldn't need to pretend to be someone else to earn money. She could just join an international team and make a fortune. Perhaps Qi Xiaoyuan was right. That woman might have some ulterior motive for impersonating her. Of course, it was also possible that she didn't have the ability to outrun K1. However, if it was the latter, then everything could be explained, and the friendly match that was about to begin would definitely not start smoothly. Don't worry. Just treat it as a monkey show. Lin Yan chuckled softly. Chapter 494. Qi Xiaoyuan gazed at Lin Yan and nodded vigorously. Boss, you're right. Let's just treat this as a monkey show. Anyway, the truth can't be faked. Before Lin Yan could respond, Qi Xiaoyuan surveyed the surroundings to ensure that no one could hear him. Then, he whispered to Lin Yan, Boss. I really don't understand. Boss, you're the real Yeva. Why can't you reveal your identity? Boss, look at how arrogant the captain of Team 1 is. I really want to beat her to death. She can't even recognize Yeva and even mocked her. Instead, she has to be so respectful to an imposter. Boss, you're so aggrieved. Qi Xiaoyuan wished that he could tell the world that Lin Yan was Yeva. If Lin Yan hadn't been there, he would have blurted it out. Lin Yan merely grinned. What's there to be aggrieved about? You won't feel so aggrieved when the banquet begins. Qi Xiaoyuan's eyes lit up as he gazed at Lin Yan excitedly. Boss, are you going to reveal your identity during the banquet? No, no, no. If you want to reveal your identity, leave it to me. Let me tell you. I'm going to buy an electric loudspeaker. Lin Yan was speechless. Boss, are you going to tell me or not? I'm dying of anxiety. Qi Xiaoyuan quipped. Do you think that people will believe me even if I tell them that I'm Yeva? Lin Yan grinned at him. Huh? Qi Xiaoyuan froze on the spot when he heard Lin Yan. Why wouldn't they believe me? Why wouldn't they believe that you're Yeva? Qi Xiaoyuan snapped out of his daze. If I asked you to tell Wei Shufeng that Lin Yan is Yeva, would he believe you? Lin Yan glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan. He wouldn't. Qi Xiaoyuan instinctively spoke without any hesitation. Wei Shufeng is a fool. Even if I told him, he wouldn't believe me. Boss, let me tell you. Wei Shufeng has always thought that you wanted to get close to him. You even imitated Yeva to get close to him. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan wasn't surprised. Wei Shufeng had indeed thought so. It's indeed troublesome to explain one's identity. Lin Yan shrugged. No, boss. You are Yeva. It doesn't matter even if people don't believe you. If they don't believe you, they can beat them until they are convinced. Qi Xiaoyuan exclaimed. That's a good idea. Lin Yan stroked her chin and grinned. Huh, what do you think, boss? I'm smart, aren't I? Boss, you're a legend in the racing world. If anyone doesn't like you, then get on the track and send them all off the track. Let's see who dares to not like you. Qi Xiaoyuan was getting more excited as he gestured with his hands. Think about it. Lin Yan chuckled softly. Sigh, boss, what are you still thinking about? Just looking at them makes me angry. Oh right, tonight's private banquet will be attended by a big shot from abroad. He's also a super loyal fan of yours. I think it will be very lively tonight. Why don't we take this opportunity? When Qi Xiaoyuan raised his head, he realized that Lin Yan was already in front of him. Wei Shufeng was stalking toward her with an unfriendly expression on his face. Lin Yan. Wei Shufeng walked over to Lin Yan with a frown on his face. Speak, said Lin Yan. What do you want? Wei Shufeng hissed coldly. Sorry for the long wait. There's still a show tonight. Chapter 495. Lin Yan remained expressionless when she saw that Wei Shufeng was hostile. She glanced at him and asked, "What's wrong?" "Lin Yan, you usually appear wherever I am." "That's fine, but if you mess around today, you will get yourself into trouble," Wei Shufeng hissed at Lin Yan. Qi Xiaoyuan, who was standing nearby, couldn't help but shake his head. Wei Shufeng was being silly again. In Qi Xiaoyuan's opinion, Wei Shufeng was digging his own grave. The more delighted he was, the greater the price he would have to pay in the future. What if Wei Shufeng found out that Lin Yan was his boss one day? What would he do? Would he want to bang his head against the wall to end all his troubles? "Lin Yan, let me warn you. I don't care who invited you here. If you dare to mess around, I will make you suffer." Wei Shufeng glared at Lin Yan as he spat out these words. "Little Feng." Suddenly, Qi Xiaoyuan strode forward and glanced at Wei Shufeng. "Are you done? She didn't do anything to you. What's wrong with you?" As soon as Qi Xiaoyuan finished speaking, Wei Shufeng turned to look at him. Wei Shufeng found Qi Xiaoyuan's behavior very unusual today. He had no idea why Qi Xiaoyuan had done that. Not only had he invited Lin Yan, but he had also protected her. Logically speaking, this shouldn't have happened. "Qi Xiaoyuan, what's wrong with you?" Wei Shufeng stared at Qi Xiaoyuan with a frown. "What do you mean, what's wrong with me?" "I should be the one asking you what's wrong with you," Qi Xiaoyuan retorted. "You? Did you really hook up with her?" Wei Shufeng's eyes widened in shock. The corners of Qi Xiaoyuan's mouth twitched. He wanted to, but how could he? Besides, his love for Boss was pure and unadulterated admiration. What did he mean by hooking up with her? Cut the crap. Miss Lin Yan is my idol. I really like her movies, especially her role. Lin Pian. Wei Shufeng fell silent as he tried to recall what he had heard. Lin Yan was speechless. "It's Lin Pianruo," Lin Yan corrected him. It was obvious that Qi Xiaoyuan didn't do his job well. "Oh, yes, Lin Pianruo." Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. "She's really good." There was no way Wei Shufeng would believe him. "Qi Xiaoyuan, don't you never watch movies?" Wei Shufeng quipped. When meeting one's match was screened, he refused to watch it even if she gave him a ticket. How can that be the same? "I didn't watch it in the past, but that doesn't mean that I won't watch it now. In the future, I will watch every movie that Miss Lin stars in." Qi Xiaoyuan quipped. Wei Shufeng was puzzled when he heard Qi Xiaoyuan. He knew Qi Xiaoyuan very well, so there was no way he would believe Qi Xiaoyuan's lies. "Lin Yan, let me warn you. Stay away from me and my friends. I don't care what tricks you use to make Qi Xiaoyuan protect you, but don't challenge my patience." Wei Shufeng's eyes were cold and hard. "Of course." Lin Yan grinned and turned to Qi Xiaoyuan. "Right?" "No, of course not. Just stay away from him." Qi Xiaoyuan blurted out anxiously. "Little Feng, you're hopeless. You will regret this. You will want to kill yourself." Qi Xiaoyuan looked at Wei Shufeng helplessly. Chapter 496. Qi Xiaoyuan was fuming with rage. Wei Shufeng was really a fool. He was trying to save him, yet he couldn't tell. He even thought that Qi Xiaoyuan and Wei Shufeng had hooked up. He was hopeless. In the future, he would have to suffer the consequences of his actions. "Lin Yan, don't think that I don't know why you're here. If you disturb Yeva, I won't let you off. Other than trying to get close to me, you have another motive. Even if you want to fight for the role of Yeva, you should have done it openly. You shouldn't have used my friend to bring you here. You shouldn't have used this method to attract attention," Wei Shufeng hissed coldly at Lin Yan. Lin Yan was dumbfounded when she heard Wei Shufeng. She wanted to jump up and clap for him. This fellow's imagination was too vivid. It was a waste of his talent to be an actor in the entertainment industry. I think you should change your career. Lin Yan grinned at Wei Shufeng. You shouldn't be an actor. Given your imagination, you should be an author. I think that being an author would be more promising for you. Wei Shufeng snorted coldly. Stop bullshitting me. You'd better remember what I said. Wei Shufeng pulled Qi Shaoyuan to his side. Come with me. From now on, you will stay by my side. I don't. Who wants to stay by your side? I want to stay by Miss Lin Yan's side. I don't want to be apart from you. Hey. Don't pull me. You rascal. Lin Yan shook her head helplessly as she watched Wei Shufeng drag Qi Shaoyuan away. Indeed, just as Qi Shaoyuan had said, Wei Shufeng wasn't very smart. However, if one were to say that he wasn't smart, he would have a vivid imagination. He could even use his own logic to come up with all sorts of weird ideas. Sister-in-law, what happened? What is that fellow doing? Do you need me to teach him a lesson? Pei Yutang strode over to Lin Yan. Forget it. Lin Yan glanced at him. If anything happens, I have to protect you. Sister-in-law, look at what you're saying. Given our relationship, isn't it normal for you to protect me? In the future, we can divide the work. If anyone provokes us, you'll be in charge of beating them up. Pei Yutang said. Lin Yan was taken aback. If I'm in charge of beating them. What about you? Pei Yutang chuckled sheepishly. I'll be in charge of scolding them. Lin Yan was speechless. She really couldn't tell that Pei Yutang was Pei Yucheng's younger brother. Actually, if she hadn't known about their relationship, she wouldn't have believed that Pei Yutang was Pei Nanshu's brother. How could they be brothers? The gap between them was too big. It was no wonder that no one had ever suspected Pei Yutang's identity. His personality was the best disguise in the world. Even if someone were to tell everyone that Pei Yutang was Pei Nanshu's or Pei Yucheng's brother, no one would believe it. Lin Yan's heart ached for Pei Yutang as she stared at the chattering Pei Yutang. It seemed like Pei Yucheng's parents had been a little biased. Update has ended. The name of the adorable bracelet is Pei Tiantong's Yeva. Please join the prize group to claim the prize. Please continue to ask for monthly votes and recommendation votes. You can claim your monthly votes. This chapter will continue with the monthly votes. You can claim a monthly vote. Chapter 497. A few minutes later, Lin Yan, Pei Yutang, Qi Shaoyuan, and the others arrived. The venue was huge, and the facilities were perfect. This was the venue for the top teams in the country. There were about a dozen racing cars parked in the arena. Among them, there was a silver racing car that was especially recognizable. Lin Yan's eyes trailed to the silver car as she fell into deep thought. It seemed like Lin Xia and Han Yishuan had put in a lot of effort to imitate the car that she had used in the WZ team. At this moment, the imposter was surrounded like a myriad of stars surrounding the moon. Madam Yeva, can we start now? One of the K1 captains walked over to Yeva with a bright smile on his face. The imposter's eyes trailed to the captain as she mulled it over. Let's change the format. Huh? Everyone was stunned when they heard what the imposter said. Madam Yeva, what do you mean by changing the format? The captain of the K1 team asked, looking puzzled. I have already told Miss Xia that I have been too busy today, so my injury has flared up. I don't think I'm in a good condition to compete in a friendly competition. It's best if we change the format, the imposter replied softly. The K1 team had never expected that there would be a sudden change in the format. Is there a problem? The imposter furrowed her eyebrows. Her eyes gleamed as though she was saying, it's an honor to be able to compete with you. Don't be so shameless. I hope that everyone can understand Madam Yeva. She has retired temporarily because of her injuries. We invited her to the country, so she's a little tired. Given her current condition, it's not suitable for her to participate in a friendly competition. Lin Xia chuckled softly. All right then. Actually, it doesn't matter. It's an honor to be able to compete with Madame Yeva. One of the K1 captains stepped forward with a smile. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up into a smile. It seemed like he had guessed correctly. This imposter was indeed capable, but she probably wasn't capable enough to defeat K1, the top racing team in China. Hence, what happened now was reasonable. Madame Yeva, how do we do it? The leader of the K1 team asked curiously. It's rare that half of the Chinese racing circle is here today. Since that's the case, let's have an exhibition match, the imposter said softly. Exhibition match? The K1 team fell into deep thought after hearing this. It wasn't impossible for the K1 team to hold an exhibition race. Boss, it's an exhibition race. I wonder if Boss will show off his amazing skills. Wei Shufeng gazed at the imposter expectantly. The imposter's eyes landed on Wei Shufeng as she chuckled. Do you want to watch? Of course. Wei Shufeng nodded eagerly. Yeva's amazing skills weren't something that could be seen anytime or anywhere. Usually, she would only use them when she felt threatened. Chapter 498. When they heard that the imposter was going to show off her skills, everyone cheered and cheered. Lin Yan's curiosity was piqued. How dare this imposter say something like that? Was she really planning to show off her skills on the track? Stop pretending. Qi Xiaoyuan whispered to Lin Yan, this imposter claims that she can show off your racing skills. How is that possible? Actually, Lin Yan was curious as well. She was looking forward to seeing if the imposter would be able to fulfill her promise. Before long, all the members of the K1 racing team walked onto the track and entered their cars. Before long, more than 10 cars started to move simultaneously. Although the imposter had changed her mind at the last minute, the K1 team had been caught off guard. They hadn't rehearsed for this competition, but they were still the best team in the country. Hence, they had great teamwork. The K1 team had used about 15 minutes to finish the competition. Although there were some flaws in their performance, the fact that they hadn't rehearsed beforehand was enough to prove that they weren't simple. After the K1 team was done, the imposter slowly walked onto the track, surrounded by the crowd. Suddenly, the imposter was the only one left. She was wearing a silver uniform, and her back was facing everyone. On her right was a silver car. After putting on the helmet, the imposter looked so much like Lin Yan that it was almost as though she was the real deal. Even Lin Yan felt as though she was watching her own race. Wei Shufeng and the others had their eyes glued to the imposter. Their eyes were filled with anticipation and excitement. Even Qi Xiaoyuan leaned forward and stared at the imposter. The only difference was that Qi Xiaoyuan was merely curious. He wanted to see how the imposter was going to show off Lin Yan's skills. The imposter opened the door and got into the silver car. Then, she started the car and started the engine in one smooth motion. Whoosh! Almost instantly, the silver racing car sped away like a wild horse. F***CK. She's really something, Qi Xiaoyuan muttered to himself. It had to be said that this imposter had put in a lot of effort to impersonate her boss. Even the way she had opened the car door was exactly the same as Lin Yan. If Qi Xiaoyuan hadn't known who she was, he would have been blinded by her, just like Wei Shufeng. Lin Yan stood beside Pei Yutong as she stared at the silver car, deep in thought. This was truly a professional imitation show. Judging from every single detail and rhythm, the imposter had done a flawless job. She had imitated Lin Yan's state of mind perfectly. Sister-in-law, look, he's so awesome. Pei Yucheng turned to Lin Yan excitedly without turning his head. Sister-in-law, look. She's indeed a legend on the racing track. Her control over the curve and her control over the rhythm are simply invincible. Too strong. If I had 1/10 of this power, it would be invincible. Before Lin Yan could respond, the silver car made a beautiful side horizontal drift at one of the bends. Chapter 499. When Wei Shufeng saw the way the side horizontal drift ended in a curve, he was overwhelmed with excitement. This was the first time I went to watch Boss's competition live. It was a classic ending move. I still remember what the commentator said. It was breathtaking. Wei Shufeng exclaimed as he looked at Qi Xiaoyuan. Qi Xiaoyuan glanced at Wei Shufeng in disdain. Is that so? Why do I feel that there's something strange about her? She doesn't seem as smooth as she used to be. Wei Shufeng was startled by Qi Xiaoyuan's words. She doesn't seem as smooth as she used to be? No, she doesn't seem any different. I can't tell. If you can't tell, then that means you're not professional enough. You're obviously not even 1/10,000th of your former self, okay? You're worlds apart from Boss back then. Sigh, I'm so disappointed. Qi Xiaoyuan sneered and shook his head. Wei Shufeng stared at Qi Xiaoyuan with a frown. Qi Xiaoyuan, what do you mean? Do you think that Boss isn't as good as she used to be? Is that why you want to stop being a fan? The corners of Qi Xiaoyuan's mouth twitched as he stared at Wei Shufeng as though he was an idiot. Quit being a fan? Who was the one who quit being a fan? Wei Shufeng was a fake fan through and through. Before Qi Xiaoyuan could continue to mock Wei Shufeng, the crowd erupted in cheers. On the track, the impostor executed several of Yeva's maneuvers. Yeva rarely used these maneuvers in competitions. Wei Shufeng ignored Qi Xiaoyuan and joined the crowd in cheering. Not bad. Lin Yan stared at the silver car and chuckled softly. The impostor had put in a lot of effort. She had imitated the techniques that she had mastered well. However, even though she had imitated Yeva perfectly, the difference was obvious. Back then, Lin Yan hadn't done this to perform. She hadn't done it because she wanted everyone to remember her. Everything she had done had been to win the competition. That was all. Lin Yan had come up with these tricks to save time. Everyone knew that a second's delay on the racing track was akin to 1,000 miles behind. However, the impostor had put the cart before the horse in order to better imitate the technique. She had spent a lot of time to complete it. If that was the case, then what was the point of all these racing techniques? It was indeed difficult to imitate, and it was not easy to successfully imitate. However, if one forgot the ultimate goal, such an imitation would be meaningless. Sister-in-law, look, did you see that? Sister-in-law, you have to learn. You have to teach me. Pei Yutang turned to Lin Yan after the impostor's performance was over. Isn't that easy? Lin Yan spoke to Pei Yutang. Easy? Pei Yutang froze in shock. How could it be easy? Are you kidding me? That's Yeva's racing skills. Lin Yan sighed but didn't explain further. Of course, it was easy to just imitate these movements, but if it was used in actual combat and could greatly reduce the time needed, then it could be called skill. Chapter 500. Imitation. Racing techniques. Pei Yutang was bewildered by Lin Yan's words. What did she mean by imitation? Lin Yan, what did you just say? Wei Shufeng strode over to Lin Yan and stared at her with a stoic expression. What's wrong with you? Lin Yan glanced at Wei Shufeng. Why was this fellow haunting her like a ghost? Why couldn't he figure out his own position? Did you just say that Yeva's racing techniques are simple? Wei Shufeng's eyes were cold, as though his idol had been insulted. Is it that difficult? I can do it too. Lin Yan grinned and shrugged. You can do it too. Wei Shufeng burst into laughter at Lin Yan's words. It was as though he had just heard the funniest joke in the world. Oh my God. Miss Lin Yan, you're too good at bragging. Qi Xiaoyuan interjected hastily, who do you think that woman is? She's the racing legend, Yeva. How dare you say that Yeva's racing skills are simple? Wei Shufeng glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan, as though he had finally regained his composure. What did you say? You can do it too. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. What a joke. All right. Come on, go ahead. If you're so capable, go ahead and compete with our boss. Do you dare? Of course you dare. Come on, go ahead and compete. Qi Xiaoyuan hollered at the top of his lungs. Lin Yan was speechless. She doesn't have the right to compete with boss, Wei Shufeng muttered to Qi Xiaoyuan. That's right, little Feng. You're absolutely right. She doesn't have the right, but we have to let her compete with boss. We have to let her know how foolish her arrogance is. We have to let her know that boss is an insurmountable moat. Qi Xiaoyuan said. The impostor walked over with Lin Yan and Han Yishuan, as though she wanted to say something to Wei Shufeng. Coincidentally, they overheard their conversation. Boss, at the sight of the impostor, Wei Shufeng forgot all about his anger towards Lin Yan. Boss, listen to me first. I'm your super loyal fan and Wei Shufeng's good friend. My name is Qi Xiaoyuan. Qi Xiaoyuan's eyes landed on the impostor as he spoke before Wei Shufeng could. Hello. The impostor nodded. Boss, did you know that someone was very disdainful of your performance just now? She even said that she could do it if she wanted to. She even said that your performance on the track was very average and that you didn't live up to your reputation. Boss, as your diehard fan, I can't stand it. Boss, why don't you compete with her? Show her what it means to be a real mountain. Qi Xiaoyuan said. The impostor's eyes darted to Lin Yan. She didn't bother to hide the disdain in her eyes. Do I have to compete with anyone who asks me to? Lin Yan snorted coldly. Boss, you're right. But I think you should teach some people a lesson. Plus, isn't it a piece of cake for you to bully her? Qi Xiaoyuan said. Young Master Qi, if that's the case, I'm afraid that Madame Yeva will have to deal with challengers all year round, the female captain of the K1 team chimed in. Are you kidding me? How could a small team let Madame Yeva compete with her? Ha ha. She's just trying to create hype. Even if she competes on the track, Madame Yeva could crush her with her eyes closed. The captains chuckled at the same time. There are 2 more chapters to go. I'm begging for monthly votes. I'm begging for a recommendation ticket. Click on the red packet icon on the top right corner to receive a monthly vote. If you're lucky, you can even get a huge one. Chapter 501. Lin Yan, what are you trying to do? Have you had enough? Do you know who she is? Han Yishuan, who was standing next to the impostor, bellowed at Lin Yan. Sister. Madame Yeva is a legend in the racing world. Sister, you're just a member of a small team. This isn't appropriate. Lin Shuya sounded as though she was trying to dissuade her. No way. I can't stand people who look down on me. I have to get boss to race with her and teach her a lesson. Qi Xiaoyuan blurted out. Qi Xiaoyuan's eyes darted to Wei Shufeng. Fengzi, what do you mean? Boss is being looked down upon by this woman, yet you won't let boss teach her a lesson? If we don't race with her, she will definitely say that Yeva is a legend and that no one dares to race with her. I can't tolerate boss being humiliated like this. Wei Shufeng was speechless. Qi Xiaoyuan's words seemed to make sense. However, when he thought about it, he realized that it didn't make sense. After all, everyone knew who Yeva was. Why would she need to prove herself with a member of a small team? Isn't the banquet about to start? Let's go to the banquet first, Wei Shufeng said after a moment of silence. Sister, are you going home? I'll get someone to send you home. Lin Shuya spoke to Lin Yan in a gentle and caring manner. She was implying that Lin Yan didn't have the right to attend this banquet. Lin Yan grinned. No, I'm here to eat and drink. Why should I go back? 3 people invited me. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to leave. Yeah, she can't leave. As long as she doesn't respect Yeva, she can't leave. She has to race with my boss. Qi Xiaoyuan nodded. Pei Yutang glanced at Lin Yan, looking slightly awkward. Although Pei Yutang knew that Lin Yan was a good driver, she was talking to Yeva. Provoking Yeva and wanting to race with her was a joke in and of itself. However, Lin Yan was his sister-in-law and father, so Pei Yutang couldn't say that out loud. Are you going to the banquet? Han Yishuan glanced at Lin Yan expressionlessly, looking displeased. However, 3 men had indeed invited Lin Yan, so it wasn't convenient for them to chase her away. Yeah, we bought you a nice gift. How could I leave? Lin Yan grinned. The banquet was held in a manor near the arena. Yeva was the star of the show tonight. When they arrived at the manor, Lin Shia, Han Yishuan, and the others cooperated with the impostor to change while everyone else waited in the manor. Sister-in-law, why isn't the present here yet? Pei Yutang's eyes trailed to Lin Yan. Everyone's gifts had arrived, but Pei Yutang's had yet to appear. Don't worry. I'm on my way, Lin Yan told him. Daddy, I can't wait. Ha ha ha. Pei Yutang nodded vigorously. Qi Xiaoyuan pulled Lin Yan aside and whispered to her softly, Boss, you have to race against that impostor. Lin Yan grinned. He's a big shot. I can't do anything about it. Big shot? Qi Xiaoyuan was startled. Big shot? What big shot? She's pretending to be one. Don't worry. The show has just begun. Eating and drinking are more important than anything else, Lin Yan replied nonchalantly. Chapter 502. Before the banquet started, Lin Shia and Han Yishuan went out to welcome an important person who had come from abroad. Before long, Han Yishuan and Lin Shia brought a lady who was dressed like an upper-class lady into the mansion. F***CK, this lady. Isn't she, the Hollywood actress, Andrea? Are you serious? Isn't she the female lead of Hollywood's first racing tribute film? It's really her. The crowd erupted in excitement when they saw the lady. This lady was the hottest A-list actress in Hollywood. She's Yeva's diehard fan. That's not surprising. Yeva has many diehard fans. It's not surprising that Andrea is Yeva's fan. As the crowd discussed among themselves, Lin Shia and Han Yishuan entered the manor with the woman. Let me introduce you. Lin Shia smiled gently and glanced at the cold lady beside her. I'm sure you're all familiar with her. She's the Hollywood actress, Andrea. She's also the president of Yeva's fan club. Yeva's fan club? Wei Shufeng was taken aback. Why hadn't he heard of such a fan club? Lin Shia explained, it's just a small club. There are many of them. It's not just Yeva. Many people have such a fan club, including you. It's like a private fan club. After listening to Lin Shia's explanation, Wei Shufeng finally understood why he hadn't heard of it. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Andrea greeted them in fluent Mandarin. Wei Shufeng wasn't a stranger to Andrea. She was Chinese-American and spoke fluent Mandarin. She was famous for her straightforward personality in Hollywood. Hello, Madam Andrea. Soon, everyone stepped forward and introduced themselves. However, the woman did not seem to be interested in the self-introductions of the crowd. She even inadvertently revealed a look of impatience in her eyes. Shia. May I know when boss will be here? Andrea glanced at Lin Shia anxiously. Back when Andrea had been overseas, Yeva had yet to retire. Andrea had spent a lot of effort trying to find someone to invite Yeva to dinner. However, she had been rejected every single time. WZ had rejected her every time. This time, Lin Shia contacted Andrea and informed her that she had invited Yeva to a private dinner in the country. Andrea was extremely grateful to Lin Shia when he heard the news. He cancelled all his work and booked the earliest flight to China. Sister Andrea, this is Wei Shufeng, Lin Shia introduced. Hi, I watched your movie. Meeting One's Match. It was very good. Andrea smiled at Wei Shufeng. Thank you. Wei Shufeng nodded politely. This is, Andrea's eyes trailed to Lin Yen. Lin Pianruo from Meeting One's Match? Hello, Madam Andrea. Lin Yen nodded. I didn't expect you to be Boss fans too, Andrea said. Madam Andrea, Miss Lin Yen isn't a fan. She is here to challenge us. One of the K1 racers smirked. Challenge the dojo? Hearing this, Andrea frowned. Ha ha. Isn't that right? Let me tell you a joke. She thinks that Yeva isn't as good as her, so she wants to compete with her. Chapter 503. Lin Yen glanced at the mocking crowd helplessly. Those words had come from Qi Xiaoyuan. What did it have to do with her? However, she didn't care even if they thought that way. If she really couldn't do it, she would just race. Without waiting for Andrea to speak, the imposter in casual clothes slowly walked into the manor. Andrea's eyes lit up when she saw the girl. Andrea had never seen Yeva's face before, so she wasn't sure if the girl was her. Madam Yeva, let me introduce you. Lin Shia smiled faintly as she pulled Andrea forward. What's wrong? The imposter asked. This is the Hollywood actress, Madam Andrea. She is also your diehard fan. She has invited you to dinner many times, but your team has rejected her, Lin Shia replied. Oh. Hello. The girl extended her hand to Andrea. Boss, Andrea looked excited. This girl was really Yeva. Andrea immediately shook hands with the imposter. Shia, thank you so much. If it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have been able to meet Boss. I didn't expect that you would be able to invite Boss to the country. Andrea turned to Lin Shia. Lin Shia chuckled softly. Sister Andrea, you're too kind. I like you a lot. Who knows, I might even enter Hollywood in the future. We might even have a chance to work together. Yeah, you definitely will. Andrea nodded. Suddenly, a commotion broke out outside the manor. Everyone turned to look at the commotion. This is a private venue. Please leave. The security guard yelled. I'm here to deliver something. Isn't this the address? Lin Yen grinned and glanced at Pei Yutong. Your gift is here. Hurry up and receive it. Let him in. Pei Yutong yelled. Before long, Pei Yutong stepped forward and two men carried a large, luxuriously wrapped wooden box into the room. Be careful. This is expensive. Pei Yutong looked wary. The two delivery men glanced at Pei Yutong strangely. After placing the box on the ground, he left. Miss Yeva, this is a gift from me and my friend. Please accept it. Pei Yutong glanced at Yeva with a smile. Okay, thank you, Mr. Pei. Just get someone to carry him away, the imposter said. Pei Yutong shook his head furiously. No. Open it first. I spent a lot of money and manpower to prepare this. Money is not important. The most important thing is time. I spent a lot of time preparing this gift. Oh yeah, Miss Lin Yen and I gave it to you, added Pei Yutong. Lin Yen was speechless. One had to admit that this brat was quite considerate. Since she couldn't dissuade him, she had no choice but to ask someone to open the box. Pei Yutong's exaggerated words had attracted everyone's attention. They wanted to see what kind of precious gift it was. However, when a large bell appeared before everyone's eyes, the entire place instantly fell silent. It was deathly silent. Godzi glanced at Pei Yutong with an awkward expression on his face. Although he knew that Pei Yutang wasn't very intelligent, he shouldn't have chosen a large bell as a gift, right? Chapter 504. At this moment, the villa was deathly silent. There was not the slightest sound. Everyone's eyes were on the clock and Pei Yutang. They had never heard of anyone giving a clock as a gift. "You're awesome, brother." Qi Xiaoyuan snapped back to his senses and gave Pei Yutang a thumbs up. Pei Yutang's hair stood on end as he stared at the clock. His mind went blank. Why was it a clock? Who had given a clock as a gift? Did you give it to the wrong person? Pei Yutang glanced at Lin Yan with uncertainty. Lin Yan shook her head and replied, "No, this is it." Then, why is it a clock? Didn't you say that it would be heavy and heavy? Why did it have to be big? Pei Yutang shuddered. Lin Yan frowned. Isn't it heavy? Pei Yutang was speechless. Lin Yan asked, "Isn't it heavy?" Pei Yutang was speechless. Lin Yan asked, "Isn't this big?" Pei Yutang was speechless. Besides, it's very artistic. Lin Yan grinned at him. Sister-in-law. Are you kidding me? Pei Yutang wanted to cry. It was indeed heavy and heavy, but it was a clock. Wasn't it the same as sending someone to their funeral? Mr. Pei, what do you mean? Han Yishuan's expression hardened. Qi Xiaoyuan had given them a luxurious bag, but it had been an imitation. They hadn't said anything, so they had assumed that Qi Xiaoyuan had been cheated. However, Pei Yutang had given them a clock. What was it? Ahem, Pei Yutang coughed to hide his awkwardness. Everyone, please don't judge this gift by the standards of the world. This clock actually has a long history. It has a lot of historical value. This weight. This material. This weight. I'm sorry, I can't make it up anymore. Pei Yutang wanted to bang his head against the wall to end this. This clock is my gift to Madame Yeva, Lin Yan said with a grin. Everyone's eyes darted from Pei Yutang to Lin Yan. Pei Yutang turned around instantly and gazed at Lin Yan, feeling touched and touched. As expected of his biological father, he actually took the blame for him like this. However, on second thought, there was no need to carry it. She was the one who had bought that clock. Sister, how could you do this? Even if you hate me, you shouldn't treat our guest this way. Lin Xia glanced at Lin Yan, looking aggrieved. However, Lin Xia's eyes flashed with a smile. Lin Yan had dug her own grave. She had provoked Yeva and even given her a clock. Given Yeva's influence, Lin Yan was afraid that she would never have a chance to make a name for herself. She was the one who had sealed herself. As for him, as the inviter, he only needed to be firm in his stance. Han Yishuan's eyes gleamed coldly. Lin Yan. Do you have a death wish? Wow, you're such a vicious woman. Qi Xiaoyuan pointed at Lin Yan and bellowed, Boss rejected your challenge, yet you're here to send him off? If you have the guts, get on the track. Whoever loses will eat this clock. I think so. Andrea glared at Lin Yan coldly. You have to think twice before provoking Yeva. I can give you a chance, but if you lose, you will have to eat the clock. Wei Shifeng frowned. Although he was annoyed by Lin Yan, these people would definitely make her eat the clock if she really got on the track. She's not worthy. Tell her to scram. Wei Shifeng glanced at Lin Yan as he spoke. Lin Yan didn't seem to mind. Eat the clock? That's not a problem. End of update. Moi monthly ticket drawing event continues. AO. Chapter 505. Eat the clock? Pei Yutang winked at Lin Yan when he heard her. Pei Yutang was well aware of Lin Yan's racing skills and he had faith in her. However, that was only for ordinary teams. Who was Lin Yan provoking now? Who did she think she was? Yeva. She was known as the racetrack's Grim Reaper and the legendary female racer who held the fastest track record. Normally, people like them wouldn't even have the right to meet Yeva. However, Lin Yan had challenged such a legendary racer and even promised that the loser would eat the clock. If Pei Yutong hadn't known Lin Yan well, he would have assumed that Lin Yan had done this. She had given the clock to the loser and said that the loser would have to eat the clock. That was terrifying. Pei Yutong pulled Lin Yan aside before she could retort. "Daddy, what are you doing?" Pei Yutong stared at Lin Yan in horror. Pei Yutong had never imagined that Lin Yan would cause so much trouble at the banquet. Most importantly, there was no way Lin Yan could win. Would she really eat the clock that he had given her? Lin Yan wanted to say something, but Pei Yutong interrupted her. "Sister-in-law. Are you trying to make use of this opportunity to create hype? Won't that just create a bad reputation?" Lin Yan was speechless. Actually, Lin Yan could understand Pei Yutong's reasoning. If she were in Pei Yutong's shoes, she would probably think the same way as him. "Yeah, I just want to create hype." Lin Yan chuckled softly at Pei Yutong. "Huh?" Pei Yutong was dumbfounded. Anything could be created? How about it? If you lose, you have to eat the clock. Andrea's eyes trailed to Lin Yan as she spoke impatiently. "Madam Andrea, didn't I say that I can do it?" Lin Yan grinned and nodded. "Actually, I didn't mean to provoke you. I just think that I'm good at racing. Perhaps I can beat the legendary race track's Grim Reaper." The female captain of K1 stared at Lin Yan and sneered coldly. "This is the funniest joke I've heard this year. You're just a member of a low-level team. Who gave you the confidence to think that you're good at racing? It's good to be confident, but being overly confident is ignorance." "Ha ha. What do you mean by ignorant? This woman is from the entertainment industry. You might not know this, but she relied on scandals to gain popularity. Who would have thought that she would resort to scamming Madame Yeva instead of scandals? She isn't a low-level scammer." "Yeah. I've heard that this woman relies on hype to make a living." Lin Yan merely smiled at them. Besides, they were right. In the early days, she had relied on scandals to create hype. Although it wasn't her intention, it was the truth. If you lose, you have to eat the clock. If Boss Yeva loses, I will eat the clock. Andrea eyed Lin Yan with a stoic expression. "Madam Andrea, this isn't a good idea." Wei Shufeng frowned as he glanced at Andrea. Lin Yan had indeed gone overboard. He had nothing to say about that. However, they could have just chased her away. There was no need to blow things up. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.